Josh, what do you got there, bud?
Dude, it's the pickle Cavendish hot dog supreme.
How's this work?
Disney.
That looks
So
pretty
it's like, you ever had a push pop?
Yeah, I've had a push.
Yeah, you just go. And you just get that up here.
I don't
What?
like doing it.
Why?
It's not something I like doing. I do it because someone's got a
That's not true.
And he's the only one
been doing
talented
that
enough.
job I got to do.
What else is a job you got to do? Is it loving your friends?
I will say
As a
you
clock
missed
in?
you missed a bad weekend to deny that he loves his friends. I feel like I'll say that.
I feel like I did miss everything.
A lot's
He
happened.
missed the first night though. He missed Friday because he was playing with drunk games with Mango. Because he cares more about his friends, his close friends.
Yeah, they all went out. They're like, "You want to go out?" It's like, I'm not ditching Mango to go to a party
How dare you
with
ask
Disney kids.
that? Yeah. All right, you want to write that down?
I think it's weird anyway to drink
Yeah,
with
you're
Disney
good.
children.
They weren't children.
They were Disney. You said they were Disney kids.
Well, they were on
A surprising
Disney
amount of them were
when
children.
they were
Think
kids.
about it.
No,
I feel like
no,
calling
they
it
were
a
all
party.
surprisingly
surprisingly
low
young.
amount of them were
Wow.
children.
that's crazy. That
So
there
you
were
guys
any
hit up a
children
party
at
with a
all.
bunch of little kids.
Yeah,
I don't know if we did it.
We did.
it's time for
That's crazy you didn't hear it.
Aiden to get a
He was in the
pedophile
zone.
He's like you.
charge
He's like
from the
me.
police.
I just didn't hear one noise.
Like me.
He's actually like you.
Oh, okay, crazy.
You're the same as Eamon.
Welcome back to the yard. As always, we're
Oh my
here
God,
with
we're going?
Aiden the pedophile.
I told him that.
No,
too.
I know we're fucking recording. Going and recording are different.
He's stressed out.
I'm
now he's
tilted,
me.
'cause-
Now he's me.
Oh my God.
I don't even think this
This is
spinning
good.
does
This is
anything.
good.
I
Let's
think
keep
he's just,
gaslighting Nick so I don't have to be
he's
a
just
pedophile
trying to get some
anymore.
things done. He's just anxious.
Yeah, it sucks having to focus and
All right.
everyone's just Australians keep coming up talking to you and shit, huh? Fucking deal
Yeah,
with
me
it.
and you were the same. Welcome back to the Yard Podcast, where me and all my friends hang out and talk. We have Miles here today.
Speaking
Hey.
of friends,
Speaking of friends,
how are you?
I'm great.
What?
I'm gonna need you talking a little closer to that microphone, Miles.
I am.
You need
Great.
to eat that shit. How is it? All right, listen. This is your last week on Earth.
On real Earth.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're gonna be going to inverse Bizarro Land, where the wombats are king.
I'm basically shadow banned after this.
Yeah. So yeah, we're having Miles on because it's his last week. He's gone back to Australia. He's been here with Josh Man and Sock Man, and they've actually been living here for that.
J-Man, Jake Man.
J-Man and Jake Man.
Yeah.
Is that their?
That's what I call him.
Why?
When I'm getting everyone in the car, I say J-Man, Jake Man.
Wait, what do
Is
you mean
Sock's
why?
name
His name's
Jake?
Jacob.
No
You,
way.
you don't know Sock's
You've known
name?
soccer
He
so
comes
long.
out the womb. They're like,
With
we'll call him
soccer
Sock, I
so
guess.
What are you gonna call him? Oh, I think Sock.
They
Yeah.
said shoe, and they're like, no, I need like a little bit less
Doesn't
than
work.
that.
Doesn't work.
This is kind of like last night where I realized like I've met Myth so many times and I don't know what his first name is.
I
I'm
learned
gonna
it
say
last night
Myth
too.
every time.
Can I?
When he told me Ollie, I kind of felt like he was trolling
were you
me.
gonna try to guess? Did Miles just spoil that for you?
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's okay.
You didn't know?
I wasn't gonna try to guess. I wanted someone to tell me. It's Ollie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really piece it together, like, because we had people who are not gamers come to the Super Bowl party, right? So naturally, he does not introduce himself as Myth.
Hey, this is Myth. I'm Slime.
We were.
This is Daniel B.
Well,
Socks over there.
you
People
would
do,
do that.
actually introduce
We all
themselves.
call you
People
Slime
think
anyway.
my name is Don a lot of the time.
Don.
Myth was doing a podcast with Cutie during the Super Bowl party yesterday, and at some point during this party, Point Crow started talking shit about being good at Foursquare, which for anyone who knows us even a little bit is a point of tension in our household. And we were like, all right, well, I know you think you're good at this thing, you're not, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, let's go settle it right now. So everyone in the house leaves to go play Foursquare. It's not very we don't make this very clear, but Myth is the only person who does not know this. So Myth comes back inside from doing the podcast and thinks that everyone has gone home from the party and calls an Uber.
No.
Because he's like, oh, they all went home, I guess. No one told me. And so he calls an Uber. We come back. We're all having fun, having a gaff, come back inside. We're like, oh, what's up, Myth? Didn't realize you were still like here.
They'll start laughing.
And he's like, oh, I canceled my Uber, I guess. And he hung out a little longer.
Their cast goes for 4 hours though. He was in there for a while.
Yeah, he was gone for a while, and we didn't really know what he was doing. So
Damn, so he thought everyone got raptured, probably.
he thought we just like went to bed.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
This
He's
is
like, I
the
thought we went to
end.
bed.
Yeah.
Every guy, there's just holes in the ceiling. He's like,
Oh,
fuck.
I didn't make it?
That sucks. I thought I was a good guy.
Is Myth still? He's very nice, by the way. I'm gonna preface that. Is the bit that he's still never
No, that's such an old. Oh no.
I don't know.
Can you fill
Okay,
me
the
in?
lore on
Wait,
myth
that
is
was a
that
bit?
he used to have a V card, like both a virginity, but also a card that was his V card, and
Yeah.
then
A physical card he'd carry around.
Oh, that's tight.
yeah,
Okay.
and then
It's,
like
it's called the California Real ID.
yeah, and it lets you
Oh,
fly.
Zipper loved it.
After May 2024, you needed to fly. And then one day he just went on stream a few years ago now, and he just fucking like he Thanos snaps and it like disintegrates, and he's like, "That's right."
Oh, that's hype.
I
Okay.
got so much pussy last night,
Nice.
and everyone in the chat was like, "Pog you."
Dude, speaking of young guys getting pussy,
hold on. Wait, hold
I'm
on.
old, so this story's not about me.
I love. So he knows exactly what's happening. But let's contextualize real quick before we get into the festivities, if you will. I went to Hawaii this weekend. I went to see my old buddy from high school who does tattoos. Got a tattoo. I went with
Yeah,
my.
you got a big old horse on you.
Yeah, I got horrors. I'm a tattoo guy now.
Yeah.
What? Oh, this. Whatever.
Hey,
And then-
get ready for the fucking all the DMs that say, "Bro, can you send me pictures of it? I want to see your arm in pictures form all the time."
No.
I get maybe
Well, that's different.
maybe
Yeah.
5 or 6 of those a week.
Because you
People
have
can try to
one and
connect
you've
with
I have
posted
one
it.
guy.
They'll do it.
But you have like
Wait,
a sleeve.
you just wait. You just
Like,
wait.
I don't even know what your sleeve looks like.
Yeah.
It's true. I haven't had time to look at it often.
You've never taken your shirt off and let me
Not
hold
He
true.
your arm.
never hangs out with his shirt off. He's scared of something.
What is happening? No, why am I being
We
gaslit
were
today?
actually
No,
at
he used
Foursquare
to.
and we were
He used
shirts
to have his
off.
shirt off all
He's
the
got-
time.
he's
I was
got-
on the shirtless Mario Party League game
He's
show.
got weird nipples.
I'm on the poster.
I don't
got-
remember
He was
that.
always shirts. And
Puffy
that.
nipples.
Yeah, you got puffers. You wear that in the pool or
I
what?
have the opposite of puffers. They're small. They're small.
Wait,
and
what
not-
No, go ahead. So you were in Hawaii.
Wait, basically, I was in Hawaii. I went with my ex girlfriend now, but we're still close. We're friends. We went, and then yeah, I got this tattoo. I just like ate fish all day, and it was great.
You eat a lot of fish.
And apparently, I missed the most social weekend that ever occurred in the history of like fucking.
Can I start
years.
from the beginning? Can we paint the whole night? Because it is a fucking movie.
Yeah, please.
I
Because
feel
I
like
haven't heard much.
There are like secrets waiting to be unearthed because you were sober.
It was
the whole
it was
time.
kind of like Pulp Fiction.
I have this. So also, my friend
I'd say it was
Scott.
better.
My friend Scott from Colorado came. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be down for this weekend." And I was like, "I'll be gone. You can sleep in my bed. Sorry." And then he sent me like this picture. I'm gonna censor it with my thumb. You actually can't see anything, but it's just Eamon in the bathroom, sitting on the toilet, angrily looking at his phone.
Yeah, believe it or not, there's like a story behind why we're in the bathroom.
And I'm just
together.
getting pictures like
Yeah.
randomly. I'm seeing shit on Twitter, and I'm like, "Zam, what's happening? I'm on an island." And so please,
So I get a DM from Stavros that says, "Hey man, it's my birthday, and I want to invite all the yard guys out to come if you want to come to my birthday. It's in Highland Park, and it's going to be after my show I'm doing." And he's like, "You're welcome to come to both." And so I message Aiden because you were in Hawaii and you were streaming, and I'm like, "Hey, do you want to go to this with me?" And he was like, "Yes, I want to go to the show and the party." And I'm like, "Great." So me and Aiden drive down to Stav's stand-up show, and opening is Brandon Wardell, which he was very funny. And then Stavros' show was also really good. We go after the show, we leave the venue, and we're sitting like outside this door, and Stav's doing like pictures and signing and stuff, and we don't want to we're like letting him do all the fanfare until like before we go say like, "Hey, what's up?" And one of the people cleaning up the venue comes out, opens the door, and looks around like looks around like this and looks at us and goes, "Hey, do you want the comedian's notes?" And then hands us the set notes of Stav's show, like all of his jokes are written on a piece of paper. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was cool. I took it, and then I immediately in my head was like, "Damn, you stole my luck. Like, I don't need this from Stav.
right?
I'm not the guy."
Yeah,
So-
this is not a golden chalice for you.
Yeah, so I'm like, I look at Aiden, I'm like, "We shouldn't keep this." He's like, "We shouldn't keep this." So I just look at the girl next to me who's in line to get photos with him, and I'm like, "Do you want this?" And she was very unenthusiastic about it. She was like, "Okay."
Sure.
She's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's his note." She's like, "Okay." And she took it, and she just like held it, and then like went back to line.
Gay.
And I was
Throws
like,
it away.
I was like, "Cool." I mean, we didn't want that. It's fine. Like yada yada. We're waiting for this party to start, and in walks Hassan, Myth, Austin, and a few others.
and Nick.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like it was a
Hassan
guy we
and
didn't
stuff
know
were buds.
named Nick.
Yeah, because they all know Stav. It was funny. We didn't
Yeah,
expect people like
and they
in
all
that
knew Stav.
world to show up to this. So we were just like, we hung out with them for most of the night. At some point in the night, they like, "Hey, do you want to come with us to a party?" And I had heard remnants that there was a party at like
Yeah,
tpain's house.
because before we were leaving, Cutie was like, me and Maya are thinking about going to T-Pain's party because T-Pain was having a party that night.
Yeah,
and they were like, if we go, you can come. And then they were like, there's also some sort of Disney party. And I was like, okay, just let me know what's going on.
Bro, the
after.
whole weekend, Maya just walks around. She's like, yeah, I'm texting T-Pain's wife.
Everybody's been
Yeah.
talking about T-Pain. I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
Yes. The whole time.
I'm starting to think that
we're going
Maya's
with
capping.
T-Pain here.
This is
T-Pain's
a
coming to our
psyop
Super
where
Bowl
this is a
party.
collective operation to convince Miles that we're all friends with T-Pain.
yeah.
So
You guys should have picked someone like.
he
I would've
also
believed like
he
one echelon
also
up.
he also flaked yesterday. He was supposed to come yesterday.
yeah, I just keep hearing T-Pain is gonna show up
Yeah.
places and he's not.
He's
Can
not
I
there.
be honest?
yeah.
T-Pain,
Shmeepain.
Schmeepain.
Wow.
Hold on. That's what
It doesn't get
the
me
old
out of bed.
The old silly me, the old foolish me was like T-Pain, Shmeepain, and then I watched that Tiny Desk concert, and I was like,
Is it hard?
oh shit,
Yeah.
it's fucking sick.
I think any celebrity that starts streaming on Twitch loses a little allure to me.
Yes. Because we're so jaded and cool.
I still think T-Pain's cool, but part of me is just like
Snoop
more
Dogg?
accessible
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And that makes me a little less excited.
Coming down to the greasy content barn.
Yeah,
Can't
exactly.
stay in Hollywood anymore.
I am going to get T-Pain to our house.
your content overalls on.
When I get T-Pain to our house, you have to stay in your room the whole time.
I will not do that. Me and T-Pain will
You-
become friends.
No, because you just said
I'm the
Shmeepain.
oldest in the goddamn room.
I'm gonna play this
I-
clip. I'm gonna play this clip where you go T-Pain Shmeepain, and I'm gonna say, yeah, he's in the room the whole
He-
time.
This
he
guy
could
was
buy
an
a
adult
drink when they
man
made that
T-Pain
song.
was cool.
Yeah.
Can you auto-tune it at least?
Do you think there actually were 200 ugly women at that bar? There's no shot.
Absolutely not.
No
One of
shot.
them had to be a 6.
There's
Look, so we're at Stavros' birthday, and Hassan extends an invite to me and Aiden to this party they're going to. And Aiden looks at me and he's like, "Do you want to go to this?" In my head, I'm like, "Not really," but it's only like 10:30, and I'm like, "Nothing has happened here."
you have to tell them what you said.
What did I say?
I was like, because I don't want to make you stay out really late. And he's like, no, I need some podcast stories. Like, it was very, very utilitarian.
I was getting there. I was like,
Very-
nothing had happened tonight that had like I had for the show, and nothing had happened that week at all either. So I was like, yeah, let's go.
You needed to farm.
And I once I get a story, I'll leave. And I was like, that was my goal for the night.
Dude.
I was like, I'm going for a single podcast story.
I wanted to go
horrible.
for the love of the game.
He walks around
too.
like a beat reporter with like a little notepad.
Okay, and so are you taking any drugs? Say
Interesting. Tell
something
me more.
funny, maybe? I don't know.
Dylan Sprouse said what? So we're there, and I think
Wait, is this the Disney kids party?
I thought we were going to T-Pain's party,
Oh yeah.
and we end up going to a Disney Channel stars party, who I don't know.
So you guys described this to me as the Disney kids party.
So
and I'm like,
I-
don't say
to be
that.
clear, to be clear, they're just to
Don't
clarify
say
ages,
that.
Just to clarify ages, they're like 23.
Well,
They're 23.
well, we'll get there. So
Don't
Did
put
you go to this?
Stop putting an asterisk on this.
I'm telling this story honestly.
I'll take over when Nick tells the meeting.
So look. So at this point, me and Aiden are just rolling with whatever like crew we run into.
Whatever 5-year-olds you see.
Whatever 5-year-olds, whatever.
You're picking them up like fucking.
And it's like there's a lot of really young kids, and then there's a few like 60-year-old guys.
Right.
around.
No, that's how it works.
That was weird.
That's chill.
But they came with the kids.
but
So
they're not near a school, so everyone can hang out together. and
Yeah,
that's
it's-
why the location was chosen.
It's a neutral ground.
during this little thing, Austin show comes up to me and says like, "Hey, do me and you have beef?"
Good.
And I start laughing, and he watched the episode where I outlined our beef, and he was like, "Let's squash our beef," and so we talked it out, and we have squashed our beef successfully from this conversation. So
You with the whole
so
Ludwig thing?
me and Austin, yeah. He didn't give me a good explanation. He said he didn't remember it, which is worse, but we figured it out. Doesn't matter. So we ended up driving with Austin to this Disney Channel party.
Hey, you guys want to get some kids? I know some kids.
I show up.
Oh, dude, don't do it. That's Austin. He's too deep in the RuneScape scene for that.
Beef resigned. So we show up to this party, and I instantly show up, and the first thing I see, literally first thing my eyes lay on, is Scott and Miles are there.
Yeah.
No way.
Through the crowd. Because when we left, we didn't know Scott was coming that night. So Scott and Miles are there, and there's no more tickets or things to get into Stav's show. So we just go on our own, right? So in my head, I'm like, oh, that's too bad. They won't be out tonight. And then we walk. I'm already drunk. Like for Nick, this is a sober experience. But for me, like several drinks fresh out of this bar.
Aiden's already
I,
tried
like,
to kiss me twice.
I look through like a sea. It's like a movie because it's well lit in the backyard, and I look through the sea of people that sort of parts, and then there's Miles with a backward hat on, and he kind of looks up at me like this.
I'm commanding the beer pong.
And I drains a shot, looks over.
I just
Aiden.
run over. I just run over and give Miles a hug, and then I look to my left, and I'm like, "That's a girl I've seen on Disney Channel for like 6 years."
Miles with the
10
arm
feet to
over
Miles'
her.
left.
Yeah, Miles
No,
comes up
no.
to me like we're at a Smash Fest. He's just like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm like, "Dude, this is about to be the best fucking night ever." I'm like, I can't believe I ran
I was
fucking
so
Miles.
psyched.
Nick's
I was
just
so
writing it
unbelievably
down.
psyched.
I'm like, yes.
Yeah, the way it happened is at our place, it was Cutie and Maya, and they were going out, and it eventually landed that they would go to this Disney party as well, separately.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, Miles, Scott, you want to go?" And I know this because they all went downstairs, and they're like, "Ludwig, do you want to go?" And I'm not streaming, but I told Mango I'd play
Shame on you.
games, and I look at them, and I'm like, Disney party, and then I look over at Mango, and it's like a full Miller Lite that I'll have to drink, and I'm like, I'm staying here.
So yeah, you really did. You hunkered down in the trench
Yeah.
and defended the front.
Yeah, I held it down, and I won $500. By the way,
Hey,
that was my night. I got crazy.
That's
Nice.
dude. I'm getting a call from Scott.
How does $500 make you feel these days? That
When-
move your pecker out
When
of
it's from Mango, amazing.
feels like $1 million.
It's
Yeah.
the sentiment that counts.
Because Mango
Yeah.
does this thing where if I owe him money, he just never wants it to be paid out. So it's like this.
So he can always
It's a
hold
tap.
it's
on
like
to
this tension that's like always anchoring me. And then when I get rid of it, I'm like, oh yes.
For LACS, we have never paid him.
I have it
It's
marked.
all on tap.
I have it marked on the spreadsheet. I'm like, I just have Mango rule.
We
in
owe
the
him
notes column of the
$9,000.
payout sheet.
Yeah, but that's from the new LACS.
Yeah.
He actually gambled away his winnings on the
He
cloud,
won
on the blockchain.
$13,000 and then he gambled it away vicariously through me
Yes.
gambling on stream.
Yeah.
The IRS is gonna have to sift through a lot of Mango rule notes
Yeah.
in the books.
The IRS agent, he's like, oh, it's a Mango.
Mango.
situation.
Oh, I
It's-
see. Yeah, Article 3, Section 4.
It's a guy in a suit at the IRS headquarters, and he's watching you guys play Berio, and he's like, okay, yeah, that's definitely 500 right there.
He's like tracking it. Actually, let it go him 100.
Well, okay, so wait. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I'm trying to I am the viewer here.
Yeah.
Because I also got a call. I'm literally on the beach. I went to the beach. That was really
Yeah.
nice. I went in the water.
I never thought of you as a beach guy.
I was like, you know what? I'm here. I'm doing new things. I'm trying new things. I'm getting a horse on me, and I was like, I will go to the water, and it was actually really beautiful. And I'm walking away. I'm going back to the hotel, and you have to walk up this like path. 'Cause it's this tiny little beach, and Scott's like desperately trying to get a hold of me. He's like, no one's at the house. I can't get in the fucking thing. Can you like call and figure something out? I'm like,
Was he already with me?
yes,
this
I
time?
can. I think maybe
He was. He was.
Oh, you were the one who called the gate.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'll call the gate, and I did. Fucking airdropped from Hawaii, and then I was like, yeah, go with God, and I just kept living my life.
Anthony calls, aloha.
Yeah, mahalo, thank you. So okay, we're back.
sorry.
You see Miles. How did you get there?
So we started. Scott got to my place at about 11.
My place.
AM.
No,
Our
he went to there.
Airbnb.
No, he went to there first.
okay.
First. Yeah.
I was like, getting a little.
he really, he's
Comfy.
comfortable now.
It's been a week. It's his place now.
I've been sleeping on the Joe downstairs, and that's kind of my thing now.
It's Miles. It's the bear in front, like the mama I threw up bear. But he's like, hey, can I borrow his shirt?
Yeah, we were making this joke last night. It's Miles wearing my shirt, asking to borrow a shirt.
Your room is full of merch that you will never wear or see.
It's true.
Absolutely.
This house
Yeah.
is full of clothes.
It's
Yeah.
wasteful, isn't it?
It is.
It makes me want to die.
Wow.
You guys just have a pipeline to China or what? Like, where's it coming from?
No, we're working
It's-
on it.
The biggest pipeline is you get sent a bunch of free shit. That is actually the pipeline.
So, life with Ludwig
Mm.
and Daniel.
Yeah.
Life with Ludwig includes people sending him products praying that he just one day shows it in front of a camera and says something mildly positive about it. So there's just boxes, clothes.
boxes of shit.
It's like a kid on Christmas, but every day's Christmas, and they're just giving him Game Boys. Just
Some
But
of
he's
them-
not excited.
Some of them
no,
are just
no,
like
he's
Yeah.
just.
some are just like sent from fans, like some are
But
terrible
It's
shirts.
weird, isn't it?
Christmas is Christmas with no dopamine.
You get like
Yeah.
more free shit. Like I should be like paying for things I
That-
want.
The more money you have, the more free things you get. It's
Yeah.
a very inverse.
Yeah, we were
system.
talking about it. The risk reward
Yeah,
if you're
it's
the
crazy.
person sending it is just
The
super
value
in your
proposition
favor.
is
Sure,
insane.
just send him one because on the off chance that he wears it, there's just no downside of you sending it.
I have a sweatshirt from a credit card brand. What is that?
But
I mean, if it says TJX6, it's kind of hard.
me looking around in the background, I'm
Huh?
just Shmeep. looking for something to wear, and Ludwig's got
Look,
me.
how'd you get there? How'd you get to that party?
So Scott arrives at my house, 11 o'clock.
Fucking
Josh starts streaming Dark Souls. And we're like, well, we plan to drink, but the brewery isn't open. So we'll go get a couple of beers, come back and start watching Dark Souls. And we come up with this great idea. We got Modelo's. They look kind of yellow like the Estus flask in Dark Souls. Josh isn't great at the game. And that item heals you. So he's doing a lot of healing. We're doing a lot of drinking.
Everything.
And
Really?
it is before midday.
Dude, that's a great drinking game if you're watching someone.
Yeah,
stream
and we
Dark
were all
Souls.
hanging out in the back of his stream
Yeah.
shirtless, just like encouraging him, being like, hey, you don't really need to drink another Estus here, man.
Yeah.
You can just fight the boss.
You can just go back to the bonfire.
You're just live viewers.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're doing that, and we're getting pretty drunk. And I look at Scott, and I'm like, bro, we are drunk. We're not going to make, like, I've seen this story when guys go at this pace, and it ends before dark.
Yeah. You guys don't see the sun go down.
Yeah, so we pump the brakes a little bit, but we make the trip all the way over to Lud's place, and no one's here except these guys who are about to leave, and they're like, we're going to this thing, and we weren't expecting, like, them to put, we weren't expecting to come with you guys or anything, but you were on the way out, we were on the way in, and they're like, we're going to this Starve thing, but it's sold out, and we're like, bummer, we'll just keep drinking here. Cutie was making, squash bolognese.
Yeah, she went nuts. You guys were gonna rift with me. Then you guys fucking pee poof.
We start drinking some wine. We start playing multiplayer Mario 64. We get about 9 stars. We go to Womps. We're having a good time.
Mm.
You know, like in Scooby Doo, when like you see someone in like a certain area, then like you go to like the next door over, and they're in that room with like Hawaiian shirt on now.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're like, wait, you were just, and they're like, what are you talking about? That was Miles and Scott with different alcohol in their hand all night. I just kept finding them, and they were still drunk, but with a different drink this time, like a different brand of drink.
I'll send it to Zipper. He can show it a little later when he gets it up. But I got sent a picture of Aiden, Miles, and Scott all in my bed.
So what I will say about this story, to preface the ending, is it ends at 4:30 with me and Scott watching Lilypichu and eating hot Cheetos in Anthony's bed. That's where we end up.
Well, and the next morning, that's the part where you were like, dude, last night was amazing. We were watching Lily, and the hot Cheetos were so good. And I was like, wait, you went to like a Disney kids party. You
We'll
went
get
to
there.
like
We'll get why that experience was
Dude,
so surreal
there's
for
actually like acts. There's
Yeah.
thirds of this evening.
Yeah.
This is the Hamlet of hanging out.
them. So I arrive. I see Miles. I am so happy to see
Wait,
Miles.
we don't know how he got
Oh,
there.
right.
So
sorry.
the girls come downstairs and they're like, do you want to come to this party with us? We're like, anywhere but Womp's Fortress, really. As long as it's not at Womp's Fortress, I think we're ready to go.
Fair.
So that's it. By the way, I'll interject really quick. There's been a very, very cute and cherished bond that has occurred between the 3 Australians that are staying here and Cutie Cinderella. Because
She
you
likes
guys,
us.
you guys are very sociable, and they will like all go on walks together. So it's like Cutie will take Swift out, and then Durs in the
And then
Mega Man
walk for
capsule.
Australians.
Yeah, and then
Cutie
Who
has the
haven't-
3 of them on the leash.
Yeah.
Durs
Yeah.
in a backpack.
They
and
haven't had
Swift on the
sunlight in
right
like
arm.
48 hours.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Cutie, I
The
don't.
I can't stay
Australian
out too long,
shepherds.
but I'll go. And yeah, they'll go on walks, they'll all hang out, they'll come. It's like Cutie and the 3 of them like watching Train together, and it's just like it's
She's
very
Olimar and we're Pikmin.
yeah.
And she does the whistle and we just all follow.
It's a bond I never expected. It's like Troy and Abed happening in the
Yeah,
second
I walked down one morning. And the stairs like come by Lud and Cutie's room, and I look in, and Cutie's like lying in bed with Josh, like just laid up like this beside her, and they're just gabbing.
Doing girl talk.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Little girl talk?
Josh sometimes just walks in the room. He's
That's
a bit
so-
of a he's a bit of a menace.
He is a menace.
but it's charming. So
I'll
you
be
just let
so
it slide.
fucking busy, and he hasn't seen me all day, and he thinks it's special.
Yeah.
And I'm just like trying to do a lot of shit. And he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he like touch my chest, and I'm like, "Ah." But I love him.
Last night, he was brute forcing so many of those situations with just max charisma. Just passing tests that like everybody else, it's like if any other dude is doing this, it's just trolling.
They
Yeah.
get kicked out the party.
Yeah, literally.
He was like yelling, like being abrasive and shit. I've never seen a man who is so charismatic that he turns around negative opinions like that. He like solved it by the end of the evening.
Yeah, he's the Rubik's cube of being a lad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, so we're getting in the Uber, and I tell Scott, I'm like, I bet you we see Nick. I call it, and he's like, no chance, no shot. And I was like, I just feel it in my plums. Nick and Aiden are going to be at this party because they said they were going to a party. I feel like we're gonna find them.
And it's L.A. and there's only one.
Yeah.
At some point,
Yeah.
at some point in 2019, me and Miles developed like a radar system that just
Yeah.
starts to beep when we're close. It's like we have a tile.
When Miles was here a couple years ago, you were visiting. Mike had like unlimited data on his phone, and he considered you like, or you considered him like the most cherished party member in your RPG class because he had tether.
Everyone
He could,
brings
like,
a different buff.
tether his hotspot. He's like insane racial passive.
You bring the buff of always being sober.
Yes.
So if I'm drunk somewhere and I don't have, because I never have internet here when I'm in America, I can't call anyone. But I know if Anthony is like within my range, he has like an aura and I'm safe.
Yeah. So you guys,
You heal
this is
party.
This is how I imagine Aiden and Nick seeing Miles. It's a slow zoom. Imagine it's, again people passing by, and this song starts playing.
It's how I felt.
The party slows down.
Yeah. And it's a slow motion, and it's a beer pong shot, and it just goes in.
Dude,
Miles turns with his
he's
backwards
wearing
hat.
his backwards hat. He turns, and I'm just like, and he's
It's
equally
him.
as happy to see me.
Yeah.
This is good because I did end up kissing Miles.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back.
We're back.
Party.
Okay, so we're at the party. We're having a good time. Me, Scott Gaming, these guys now there too. And we're hanging out. And then people start getting a little drunk. But what I start noticing in my car, you know me, I'm talking to randoms. I'm introducing myself. And if you're foreign, it's just free. Let's be real.
You have an accent. You
just
dumb
walk
piece
up
of
and go,
shit. It's not
"Hey,
about being
mates."
foreign.
Being Australians, like the same as being in a Disney movie. You just talk about the same 40 intro
Exactly.
lines.
Because everybody says the same goddamn thing. They're like, I like your accent, or like, where are you from?
Dude, I really
It's an
want to go to
immediate-
Australia, but
Yeah.
like it's so dangerous down there, man. Like I'm like, you guys have guns. Like, dude, there's not a fucking lizard that's
Yeah.
gonna pop out and be more dangerous than an AR. Like they're like, I just can't like work myself up to go because the
The
spiders.
spiders are big, bro.
Like, Justin Bieber's party was last night. Like, what the fuck are you
Kodak
talking
Black,
about?
let the shots ring.
I'm like, yeah, but those spiders though. Anyway, I'm talking to random people, and some of them, I tell like.
Yeah, no, tell the kid who comes
This
up to
kid
you.
comes up to me. He's with his two friends. I'm like, "How you doing, man? Like, what's going on?" And he's like, "Not much, man. You know how it is. Just after that pussy." And he's like a tall, like blonde, classic, like California kid.
How old do we think this?
No,
is?
we will
He's
get
a-
there.
He's a,
We'll
Okay,
get
Looks
there.
like
okay.
Surfer Nipa. Picture
Okay, yeah.
Puka Shell Nipa. And he's at the function. We're chatting, and I'm like, "That's cool, man. That you're after that puss."
No,
That's
you,
that's
you
the-
got a girl. That's like
He's telling me that specifically. I'm saying I have a girlfriend. His two friends are like, do we both have girlfriends? He's like, girlfriends are cringe, man. I'm after that. I'm after that strange. And anyway, I'm like, how old are you? And he tells me a number that would likely still be in high school, potentially.
No, his quote exactly was, "I'm 17, but I'm telling people I'm 23."
Oh.
That's what he said. And Miles tells me this, and I go, "So many felonies are being committed here
Yeah,
tonight."
this is.
Miles asked him. He's like, so you have to go to school in 2 days, and he was like, yeah.
There are 30-year-olds at this party.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are
that's the
also
thing.
older people. at
To
this
me,
party.
I think it's important to emphasize that this kid was one, lying about his age, two, nobody else there. Like
But
everybody else
he
is
told
like
me
in
so
early
quickly
20s.
too.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't
Yeah.
doing a very good job.
No, yeah.
That's also such a sick story if you go back to your fucking middle school. Kid who
Yeah.
went to that party.
You're
at
like, yeah,
Disney.
me and Selena Gomez.
Yeah.
Fucking, you know.
Yeah,
We
because he
turn
didn't
it
want to
up.
tell you at first, right? Like he kind of wanted to tell you.
I
but he
warmed him
didn't.
into it a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. Anyway, he's like, "Yo, I'm looking for that pussy, man." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "You're on a bit of a clunge quest?" And he's like, and then because his friends were a bit embarrassed about it, and I started getting really vulgar. I'm like, "So you're just after that more, really? You're trying to get into a little,
yeah, you're
a little
trying to
slut."
like make him feel a little weird.
And he
about
was
it.
like,
Yeah.
no, and then it worked. He was like, "This is kind of gross." Man. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm being gross."
I love when they're frothing at the gas.
Yeah, I'm like, "You're looking for a little gash, little axe
Yeah.
wound?" And he's just
no,
like,
no, snatch, right? Come
and he's
on.
like, "I don't think I want to anymore." I scared him straight.
Scared straight pussy edition.
Yeah, I think there was this. I had this really I think there was this like nice, happy realization I had in my head because we sort of like filter. We start at the back, which is in the backyard, and then go through the rest of the house, right? And slowly realize that a bunch of people we know are there. Like it's a bunch of like people from like Twitch and YouTube that we personally know, right?
Yeah.
And And then also as you go through the party, you start to like recognize other random people, like other YouTubers who are not like a part of the gaming world at all. And I think I have this this really nice feeling in the past where when I've brought friends together from like different parts of my life and they like meet each other and they get to experience that for the first time and I get to watch it, like that makes me really, really happy. It's like these two eras of my life coming together.
We're
right?
so the opposite because that makes me insanely stressed out because I'm always like, well, what if they hate each other?
Yeah.
And now I gotta
Oh,
live in that world.
makes me so happy.
But you're always like, oh, it'll be all right.
I turn into Aiden when it's good, and I turn into slime when it's bad. I think Aiden's always himself no matter
Results
what.
oriented.
We're the same.
He doesn't like bad thing, and he likes good thing.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
But
simple man, really.
Yeah.
And there was this moment in the party where, okay, so Scott, who's with us, that we all know from like playing Melee together.
He's my friend from Colorado who I met, and then he actually introduced me to all the Smash guys that I met, and then made all the friends. He was like my Nick Yingling in a way.
Yeah.
So
And Scott's a really, really nice, like personable guy, really easy to get along with, and we affectionately call him Scott Gaming.
right.
And in my head, like I'm sitting at the back of the party and I'm like kind of drunk. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm like, I look over and I see Scott Gaming right there. And then I look to my left and I see woman who was on the Disney Channel. And then I look slightly more to my left. It's our Twitch friends. And then a little more to the left, like a travel blogger that I watch. And I'm like, they're all here together.
Yeah.
And then you see Funky Kong, and he's holding a boombox.
This party was much like a weird dream you have.
Yeah. Like when you
was a
think
good
about the
dream.
group of people that's together, it's like, yeah, this group of people comes together sometimes in.
You're at a
my
really
head.
nice house, but not so nice that you haven't been there before. And you're like, I've been here at one point, but I don't
Yeah.
remember where or when. And this story didn't happen there, but it is in my dream. And all these different people I've seen in media are all in the same place. Like Dylan Sprouse was there.
Okay, I'm gonna throw out some names. I want
Dylan
some.
Sprouse means nothing to me.
I want some
He's
yes.
pissed to me.
A lot of shit means nothing to you because you fucking grew up with spiders with life bars.
We didn't have Disney. We had snakes.
All right, Jeanette McCurdy.
No.
Okay.
Wait, what are these names?
I'm naming
just
people
trying to guess
who
people
were
that were
there.
there.
None of the haters,
I don't
bro.
think you
None
will.
of the hitters?
Yeah,
No,
the only
it's not like
the only person in that era who was there was Dylan Sprouse.
Okay.
I
got
think
it.
yeah.
Everyone else
was
is
it.
just-
But he
There
was
like,
the Drake of this
there-
party.
Right. Yeah.
The guy, Karin was the guy whose party it was, and then Peyton List, who's also like a Disney Channel star.
They all have Disney Channel
She was
names.
Yeah.
there, and then apparently Elle Mills was there, who's like a really cool YouTuber, and then the YouTuber, the travel blogger guy, kind of that I introduced myself to was Luke Corns, and he used to make like kind of like comedy videos when he was young, but now he makes really interesting videos about like traveling. He doesn't really live anywhere; he just like travels places and makes videos about it.
Aiden knows this because he asked for their name 5 times.
Head count. Give me a head count.
Come on, man.
Rough head count.
Of how many
I think-
people? But maybe like
Just over 100.
Yeah, maybe like 100.
It was bumping.
it was bumping.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
it was packed.
packed.
It was
All right.
packed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they only play Disney songs?
Dude, they skipped Mr. Brightside.
Ooh.
Yeah, they just skipped. It was really funny.
Interesting.
To throw on Xenon's theme?
Yeah. No, zoom by
Yeah.
Protozoa.
Yeah. My heart goes boom,
Okay.
boom.
I think
Hold on.
through what part are you going to right now?
So,
cut this out.
I know exactly what part you're going to. I really quick want while this is happening. I meet I'm with Will Neff, who's also here.
Yeah.
And Will Neff like has a moment where he like gasps and says, "That's the star of Cobra Kai." And points, and there's the lead kid from Cobra Kai, Jacob something. Jacob Bertrand.
Jacob Cobra.
And he's like, I have to meet him. I fucking love that show. I've never seen it, but I'm just like, yeah, I'll go with you. And I go with him, and Will has his moment with Jacob, and then he talks to me a little bit too. And I just like somehow was just like, oh, I like play Melee and like do other stuff. And he is super into Melee in like an actual way. He's
yeah,
like,
you totally.
he's like saying like all the like short hop, all the terms. He's like, I play Marth, like, and I'm just like, this is kind of nuts.
Yeah, F Smash.
He tells me he plays
we knew
Marth.
about
I
wave
instantly
dash.
walk away.
I did instant.
oh, true.
He said Marth. He said Marth, and I'm so disconnected from like I've never seen this show. I don't really know this person. I was so disconnected. The first thing I said out of my mouth was just like really, man, why?
As a joke, right?
As a joke,
Yeah,
of course. And he took it as a joke. He realized because he has like enough context of the game. So I'm meeting this person, and this is happening at the exact same time that this happens to Aiden, which is happening inside the house.
Okay, so me and Scott have been in line for the bathroom. We're waiting. We get cut once just by accident, right? Like somebody walks in before this, but I really need to fucking go, and I'm sad. But then this like posse of people comes up. It's like 4 people, and it's 3 girls and 1 guy.
Think the Kanker sisters.
Got it.
Yeah, and one of them talking to me. The door opens. They're like like, we really need to go. You should let us go. And I'm like, I'm sorry, we've already been cut. Like, I want to go. Like, I don't want to not go to the bathroom again. This is a really, like, normal interaction up until this point. And then they're like, well, she looks me dead in the eyes, and she's like, if you want to stop Asian hate, you will let us cut in the line.
What?
And one of them's Asian.
And
okay,
one
I was
of them
gonna
is
say,
Asian.
I was gonna say,
But-
what a gamble.
And I was like, look, I won't do that. But if you want, like, jokingly, if you want, me and Scott here will go at the same time. But then she's like dead ass.
Not
She's like,
enough.
You should do that.
Oh
Like,
God.
And then
And
I
they're
try to
not
make
laughing.
I try to make a joke out of it. I'm like, yeah, we can, like, go in there. We'll just, like, cross the streams for a second. We'll see what happens. Like, just some bullshit, right? And she's kind of like, get along. And then I was just like, all right. And then I pull Scott into the bathroom with me.
And
Neither
those are the
of them
pictures
are-
that you
And
sent
I'm
me.
really uncomfortable because I don't know how to deal with people when I'm drunk, especially. This happens to me when I'm sober. But if I encounter a person who in real life that I like is just mean and
He's
I
being
can't figure out
unreasonable.
and I can't figure out why, I'm like, it's my nightmare. It's I have no way to connect. with you
Neither
and
of
try to
them are
break down
over
your walls.
5'2", by the way.
Yeah, they're so much shorter than me,
Yeah.
and I'm just like looking at them. And I'm like,
It's
I'll
like
go to the bathroom
can
now.
you fight like 100 like horse-sized or duck-sized horses? But it's 3 of them, and they're just dicing you up with their words.
Yeah. I'm getting beat in conversation
Okay,
right now.
so is it you and Scott, and he's on top on your legs, and you're sitting on the toilet, and you guys are both crying. You're like, we're stopping it, bro. We're doing our
Scott
best.
was ready. Scott was like, we are going to stand and pee at the same time. And I was like, look, I pee sitting down, and I need you to know that.
Wow.
So we took turns. We took turns. We like filmed that weird video I sent to you.
Yes.
And then we leave the bathroom. But this group, later outside, it's me and Scott together again. It's me, Scott, and Hassan. And then this group rolls
What a
up
squad.
again, and I start talking to them, and we get the main girl who is mean because her friends are honestly pretty nice.
Is the mean person? This is important for context. Is she Asian?
No,
Okay.
Well, there's 2 of them
She's-
that are mean.
but
One of
she's
them is.
not. She's not.
Oh, there are
white
2
either,
well, she
which
said
plays
one
a
person
part,
was mean.
which plays a part in this next conversation. She's not Asian, but she's also not, or she
Okay.
looks white, but
Continue,
she's not
continue.
white.
All right,
and
okay.
we're having a conversation. We're standing outside, and it's me, Scott, Hassan. They roll up on the right. Main girl standing right here. She looks at me and she's like, "Can you grab me some lemons?" Because we're standing under a lemon tree. And in
It's a
my head,
garçon.
in my head, I was like, "Finally, common ground. Like, I can do this task for you, and we'll get along."
I will
Like,
serve you. Yes.
and I grab her a lemon. I was like, "How many do you want?" She's like, 2. It's very normal interaction. Like, this is all
This
pleasant.
all makes sense when you've
And then
been
we
drinking
break
for
Yeah,
it.
I'm
details.
with
We
it,
get
yeah.
into like a conversation about like what everybody's doing, like where people are from or something. And then she says something like, "Oh, my dad is from Dubai and my mom is from X. I can't remember." And then I just like, conversationally, I say, "Oh, that's cool. Like, have you been to the UAE? Like, I went one time and I thought it was pretty cool." And she was like, "What?" And then I was like, "What?" And then she's like, "That's really offensive." And then she just like, why would you say that? But she's deadpan. I'm so drunk, dude. I'm trapped. This is
it,
my
actually, his
uncut
worst nightmare.
gems
This is
moment.
like super effective as well because you are so focused on being considerate. As
Yeah.
a person, you're like,
And I asked her, I was like, I'm sorry. Like,
Have I done anything
what did
wrong?
I say? And I don't understand. And she's just like, don't do that. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, and I'm looking at Hassan, and I'm like, do you like help me?
Yeah. Please, tall man.
Please get me out of this jam. And then they just bail again. Like, they leave. This interaction is more This is my drunk recollection as best as possible to what happened, but it's backed up because Scott and Hassan were there the whole time, and they leave. And I look at them. I was like, please tell me that was as weird as I think it was. Like, why were they like fucking with me like that? And Hassan was just like, I don't know, man. Like, I think young people's humor is just really weird. Like,
And I start to catch wind that Aiden is getting bullied by a traveling group of women.
yeah, I have now had 2 terrible interactions with this
I start
group
to
of
get wind
people.
through the party. It's like whispering down through groups that Aiden has been being bullied all night. And I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, this is somehow making it around the party that I'm having like continuous negative interactions with these people. And their saga continues,
Hold on.
later in the evening. But
Let me tell the rest of this story.
Okay.
Add what you're gonna add.
what is insane is I didn't see these girls or interact with them at all throughout the night, so I only ever heard about it secondhand. And when you and Scott Gaming went into the bathroom together, I was like, well, they're just crossing streams.
Yeah.
I saw it from a distance, but was like, two guys got to go at the same time.
It's really funny
They're
that
saving
Miles,
space
it's-
and time.
I need to emphasize like how weird it is that Miles missed them, because they are the most common thread in
Throughout the
everyone's
whole-
collective stories
yeah.
from that evening.
And-
Because we hung out with people from that party like later this weekend, later that night, and everybody is talking about this same group of people that like apparently had negative interactions with others as well.
They truly
and
were the
Miles,
Kanker sisters.
Miles
Yes.
just managed to dodge this the entire fucking
My vibes
12-hour
are
night
radiating
out.
so powerfully. Like,
He's so
I was
positive that they come
so
up and they like.
charged up at the party that like
They step in and like they instantly get 50% slow. And they're
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
we
They're
can't
like,
do this. We can't.
they
We
start
can't
feeling
flash in
sick.
here. Yeah.
His AOE when he hits a beer pong shot just blasts them out. By the
So-
way, if you pee with someone, you have to cross streams in the future. It's just like a homie thing.
I
you
can't
shouldn't
believe you guys
sit.
didn't do it.
You
He's surely a
shouldn't
pecker anyway.
It's not like you're
You're right.
unable to stand and pee, right? At that moment, you were being selfish.
When was
You're
the
like,
last time I stood
sit
and
and
pee?
Look, he
pee.
was stressed. I get it. He was being bullied.
I was shook.
I'm
Yeah, but
just-
you could have
I'm just
bonded.
giving you advice for the future.
Okay,
Okay, look.
Fine.
So
fine,
at
Scott.
some point in this party, a couple, most of the people who live in the Envy house are there, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna leave. This is kind of weird. We're gonna go to our place. Do you guys all want to come hang out?" And it was like they weren't having like another party. It was just like, we're gonna go hang out here. It's nearby, and we're like, that sounds great.
Envy's the esports organization.
Yeah, the esports organization Envy. So like Bowtie sisters live here, Minx lives here, etc.
They
And so-
live there, like where they sleep.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
That's where they
Mhm.
live. It's recent. It's also known to
tent
be
house.
known to be
Bog tent
haunted.
house. It's the barn.
Apparently it's
the
haunted,
barn
yeah.
that Miles.
It's the one we talked about.
It's
that
a
we said
really
it's
nice
haunted by
barn.
the weekend.
Yeah.
Haunted by the weekend. They live there. They do content.
Well, okay. So anyway, so we end
The
up.
weekend's ghost. died
everyone is
there.
everyone is the real them until they enter the house. So we go over and we're hanging out, and at this point the night is winding down. It's much more chill now. Nothing else is really happening. And in the kitchen, there's like a separate party of people that's hanging out, and I sort of at some point migrate over there and introduce myself to all these people. And one of them is a girl I recognize. One of them is a girl who like I have like a new friend I made recently, and he was telling me about one of his best friends, which is her. And like I saw them in pictures. I also kind of already knew who she was. So I was like, oh, we have like a mutual friend. I should go introduce myself. So I did, and I was like, hey, we have this mutual friend. I don't know you really know me, but it's interesting. Blah blah. We had like a pretty decent conversation just surrounding that we have a mutual friend. I after this conversation come back over to where Aiden and Miles are, and Aiden spots that group across the party and says, "That's the girl. That's the girl from the other house." And I realize like, oh, that's the girl I know her. And so all of this starts to piece together that like I know her. I know now who's been bullying Aiden.
Yeah.
Like I know who she is. I know her friends, like her background. No one else here knows who that person is but me. I'm the only person who knows that is.
So they
Me?
made it to the Envy.
They
party.
made it there. And no one at this point knows how they got there. Because
No. We found
We
out.
figured it-
at
figure
this
it out
point,
later.
at this
At
point,
this point,
no
yeah.
one knows how they
In-
got there, and
in-
there's only like 11 people at this house. Like it's not a party.
Yeah, it's
In
just
my
a small
head,
Someone
gathering.
invited them.
Drunk me is in the corner
It's
of the room,
kick-ons.
looking over at the other side of the house like a cat back into the corner. Like, they followed me. They found me
They're
again.
like, motherfucker, they picked me up. They're gonna pick me up again.
They're gonna fuck with me more.
It's like it's 8 people you know, and then the 3 wackest people from the party.
And so I'm like, oh wow, this is so much more interesting now because these aren't in my head. These are just random traveling group of
Again,
random
Nick
people.
with his beat writer
I
little.
think-
Yeah.
I also think it's important to
I'm having
emphasize
such
that
a
her
different
friends,
experience.
her friends
Yeah.
were really nice.
Yes, there's 4 of them.
That's
Two
why
of
it
them
was
really
so
nice.
weird. It was only she was really mean.
I would like to throw out a theory.
Yes.
I think Nick invited them for podcast stories.
Yes. He said, okay, I'm going to get you guys an Uber. This is the address.
Yeah.
All right, you're going to show up. The guy in the pink
I
shirt, you need to bully
I
him.
fucking
Pink shirt,
wish.
bully him.
I
Bully
fucking
him.
wish I had that wherewithal to do that. We're all just hanging out here. At this point, Minx comes up to me and she's untwisting a bottle of Patron. She's looking at me and she has this incredibly like angry face. And
She's just Irish.
I'm like,
Don't do that.
So the first thing I said was, "Are they after your Lucky Charms?" And she didn't like that. So I'm like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" Because she like lives here. I want to make sure like nothing's happening, and she won't respond. and she just keeps untwisting the Patron. And at this point, I'm like, surely it opens by now.
I was gonna say, which is weird because Patron is a pop
cork.
out.
I know,
You just
I know.
uncork
And
it.
she's twisting the cork in a circle.
You don't
She
twist it.
Yeah.
she's just twisting the cork in a circle. She's looking at me all menacingly, and I'm like, did I do something to you? I'm like, are you okay? And she's like, I'll tell you later. And I'm like, I want to know now. I don't like that you're gonna tell me later. I want to know now. And I realize it's because this group has showed up, and they are apparently causing problems here too now.
Ooh.
And Minx lives here, and so I don't know this at the moment. Austin Show comes over, and he is in like full dad mode. He's like, I'm going to handle what's happening. So he comes over, but he's not handling anything. He's just asking.
He makes friends with them. They start drinking and shit.
He's just asking these girls questions with a rude tone. Like he comes over and he's like, "So who are you?"
He's a devout Karen, and he'll call like airline services if he doesn't get like his $50 discount that he deserves.
He's like that.
Oh, he'll do it. He'll go nuts. He'll go stupid.
I think you summed it up really well. You came out of that party, you were like, Austin is just like a really kind and like personable guy in every circumstance, right?
He's a really good listener.
Yeah, and that Cutie was stressing that point too. Is like, I literally don't think I've ever seen Austin get like that. Like in that specific,
angry?
that angry at a group of people.
But that's like the max he can get.
He doesn't.
Like,
he doesn't like disrespect. He was talking to me about it a little bit, and he comes over and he's like, "So who are you?" To the girl. It was very clearly like targeted and mean, or not mean. I shouldn't say mean. He was angry, and she just instantly starts fucking with him. She's like, "Oh, I have an OnlyFans," and like she was like saying it's her job, and he's like, "Oh," and he believes her in this moment, and I know she is, and I'm like, "You're being owned," but I don't want to interject. Like,
oh, so she's capping.
Dude, she's
capping.
$1 million and O
She's
conversationally.
Yeah.
Everyone is
Yeah,
getting
dude.
owned.
If in her perspective, if this is all a video game, she definitely won. Like she definitely got
and
to
her
the end
and
of the
her.
game
It's
that
actually
night.
crazy because her and all her friends have stolen apples from their kitchen, from like the Envy House kitchen, and they're all eating apples at the same time. And it's like they were just eating lemons at the last house. It's like it powers them. It's like if they don't continuously
Dude, they're
find
witches.
fruit wherever they're witches.
Yeah.
If they don't continuously find fruit, they power off.
It's a
and they
30-minute cooldown
and they
after
shrink
every
down.
fruit.
And so they're eating apples. Minx is really mad that they're like eating her food, but also not being good guests. And Austin's just like so how'd you get here? And all this, and I'm in the middle of all of it, like this is crazy. Like so I'm still trying to piece all of it together. So I'm just like, oh, I thought you were a friend of a really nice person I know. And so then they say to me, this is probably the most condescending thing I heard all night from them specifically. She was like, do you guys live here? She points to our whole group, and Austin's not saying a word to them. He's so mad at them. And we're all like, no. And they're like, can one of you show me one of the bedrooms here? And we're like, why? And she's like, well, I just feel like someone who lives in like a house this big, like can't have a cool room. I just want to like see the room.
They were shitting on the house
They
a
were,
lot.
They were shitting
And
on it a lot.
This
yeah.
is
Like, don't you know this is fucking haunted by the weekend?
And so we're all,
They bring him to like the satanic closet. They're like, yeah, this is one of the bedrooms. Shut it. The weekend fucking
They're
haunts
just
them.
screaming.
yeah. So me refusing to be owned, I'm just replying. I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. Like what's your house look like? And so she's just like we're just like having this non-conversation game we're playing, and Austin is fuming, and so she takes it under her own wing to go with her friends to just go look at the rooms in the house. They're all closed doors.
Just go spread
And
out.
she starts looking to find bedrooms, and so they just run
I'd be
downstairs.
so mad.
So they just run downstairs, and everyone sort of forgets they exist for just a
it's a
moment.
4-story house, so you can be really far away from
It's
people.
so
Yeah.
fucking huge.
Yeah. There's an elevator in the house. Like it's like a big fucking house. And at some point, there's a big crash from the downstairs. You hear a big
dude.
crash, and you see instantly. You see Cutie Cinderella, Will Neff, and like two other people just start running downstairs. And I know Cutie. She's not running to see what broke. She's running to handle this group. And so I'm like, oh fuck, do I need to get involved? Like, am I gonna have to like break something up? And at this, I'm like, whatever, man.
Dude,
Whatever
it's
happens.
like Evangelion, and they're running, and their plugs come off. It's like
So Cutie
They turn into cars and roll out.
Cutie orders all of them outside and sits them down on the curb like a parent,
Oh.
and starts screaming at all of them, like starts lecturing all of them.
Oh my god!
and,
I wish I could be there to
and
see
she
that.
gets crazy, like not crazy in a bad way. Like she's just like owning them. And the
Yeah.
main girl like tries to like get in Cutie's face and like tries to fight her.
Yeah.
But Cutie has like a foot on her, so Cutie's looking at her like a Cabbage Patch doll,
Oh.
and she's like, what, dude? And Will is just sitting there, just like behind the curtain, like just cowering almost. And there's one more person, I can't remember her name, but there's one more person who's there, and she tries to take a picture. No, it's Minx. She tries to take a picture of this all happening outside. For some reason, they're not outside with her. They probably should have been with her, but they're inside.
They're letting mom handle it.
But her flash goes off. So the flash goes off, and they have this picture still. I'm gonna ask Minx to send it to us.
You liked an Instagram photo from someone from 100 weeks ago.
It's this hilarious picture of Will Neff like trying to hide once because there's like a 1 second buffer window. So it's Will Neff like this, and it's him in complete lightness because the flash has gone off, and it's Cutie outside like yelling at all these teenagers. And it's the most epic photo ever.
Renaissance painting.
And so this girl who's trying to fight Cutie now removes her jacket and puts it on the floor, and a bunch of belongings of the house fall out that she has stolen from the house.
No fucking way.
Yeah. So she's just stolen a bunch of shit from the house, and it all just falls out. And Cutie's just looking at it like, you were stealing?
Like random shit
Minx-
too. Like she stole Minx's
not
mask.
valuable
Minx
items.
has this like insane. It's kind of like a Bane mask almost, right? Minx has this like crazy mask thing, and she was stealing that whole fucking thing.
Oh, when I heard it was a mask, I thought it was just like a cloth face mask.
No.
Oh.
No,
Yeah.
she needs it. If she removes it, she
Yeah.
dies.
Keeps her alive.
For you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the story starts to wind down. At some point during all this interaction, someone who doesn't live there, but someone who was there, offers Miles and others some shrooms. So Miles is off a shroom or two. He's also...
Wait. What happened? Conclude this, like...
Well, no, hold on. Well, they get completely demolished by Cutie, and they leave. And they get in an Uber and go home.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
was
and
really-
they
This
don't
that's all I
fight.
wanted to
They
know.
don't
They
fight.
don't fight.
That me and Scott ate some fungi.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
They turn into some fun guys.
some fun guys off the fungi. I had we had one each.
One mushroom.
One man.
But I've seen Miles drunk a million times. I've never seen him off of like anything like mushrooms. He's different. He's like Aiden when he's drunk.
Okay.
So he's like very much more affectionate.
Full of love.
Just wants to give you a hug and talk to you even more.
Eyes just pupils only.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
It's funny that like you
We were
guys'
cuddling
story
a
is
lot.
like, you know, this fight, all these girls, and then Miles' story is like, yeah, I got like drunk, played beer pong, and had mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was upstairs.
Dude, I went to
everyone.
I went to a party. Basically, manifested my best friends coming to the party. They did, and then,
So
we
goated,
went with
dude.
our friends to like another party, and then we
Yeah.
did some mushrooms.
Dude, I literally got told when we were at the first party, someone was like, Cutie Cinderella says you should get in an Uber. And I'm like, that's what I do. And so I was like, I was talking to Austin, but I was like, I might see you later, but I might not because I have to get in this Uber with Minx and Emma. And,
yeah.
that's we don't only have
Launch
so many
event.
spots. So that's all I can do.
So see you
And
later.
I didn't know where I was going. I just knew that Cutie Cinderella was going to be there. And if I found her, she was going to take me home.
You're like, I might see you
She
in
was the
disc
slime.
2.
So
Mm.
we found out how they got there too, and it was I was talking to a few people, and I remembered that when they showed up, like initially, Weston Corey was just like around them, and because he showed up at the same time, and I asked Weston, and I was like, "Do you know how they got here?" And he was like,
He's been holding it all night. He's like, I invited
Oh no!
Yeah.
And they like had convinced Weston that they were like welcome at the after party. So they just came, like Weston was like, okay, because Weston is just really nice. Weston was like,
Can't
I'm
say no.
sure it's cool.
They are literally the Kanker sisters. You said it
Yeah,
at the beginning,
yeah.
and they are now crystallized as the Kanker sisters from Ed, Edd and Eddie.
But while this kick-out argument was happening, I walk out of the bathroom with Scott Gaming. Scott Gaming spent a lot of time in bathrooms. just inadvertently.
I kept getting different videos of him in bathrooms with different people.
Yeah. Yeah, different bathrooms.
He's
Different
like the
bathroom.
fucking attendant with the cologne and
But
shit.
everyone was looking down the stairwell, which goes all down all the stories, and it was like a high school, like when everyone's in the stairwell, like
yeah.
and someone's like, "This girl's getting kicked out," and I'm like, "She's still a phantom to me,"
Yeah.
and I'm
what
like,
girl?
"Well, I'm feeling good." Me and
Okay.
Scott- and I'm like, "There's a beef," and then I just sat back down on the couch and called.
Yeah,
in
and then what happened? Because half of the people there didn't know this was happening at all. They were just like
That was me.
drunk people
I
by the
was just
fire and on the
oblivious.
couches and stuff. And then they all come back in. Everybody like regroups, and Cutie basically recounts the story of how she had caught them like downstairs fucking around, talking mad shit about the house. They were talking about how like how they didn't like the people who were there, and like how the house is
They were saying
fucking
the house was
lame.
bummy.
And Cutie was like, "You're not gonna say that shit about my friends," and then like went down to go kick them out and like confront them.
I can't wait till they like and they wake up the next morning and they all have weekend hair, but it's like it's tentacles.
But
They're like, oh, the curse!
The Medusa curse.
And then it was like this collective therapy session, because up until that point, nobody had like like group recounted their own interactions with this group, right? Everybody was experiencing this separately.
Yeah.
And then everybody starts regurgitating their own stories.
Everyone
interacting
ends
with
up in the same
person
room with the briefcase.
over the same
Yeah.
night. And we were like,
It's like the end of
holy
Cluedo.
shit. And I remember the next morning I woke up and I was thinking to myself, because I usually have this feeling when I'm drunk, like, oh fuck, like did I like ruin that person's night or something? Was I like the problem in that interaction? Because I was thinking about what happened at the first party. And Scott like took me by the shoulder when I was explaining this to him, and he was like, no, dude, like I was there for every single interaction. I promise you that they were fucking with you.
Okay.
Like and that helped. Scott grounded me the whole evening.
The guy on
He wasn't very
mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy on
a
mushrooms.
guy
was
more
my,
fucked than
Yeah.
him.
Dude,
Okay,
you're
was
so
my
good.
anchor.
His only pupils.
Here's how I want this to go. Now, you explain your perspective from Disney Channel house to this house as you, because it's kind of like it's like a split
so
episode,
goated,
right?
dude.
From two perspectives.
Okay, so I'm in an Uber. I'm talking to Emma, who's from the East Coast. I don't know anything about her online personality or anything, so we're just chatting. And
You don't know shit about Dick usually.
no, Cutie's actually been, side note, Australians in Cutie section. She's been getting me up to speed. We do a little Twitch 101 sometimes when everyone else goes to bed. And she's like, and then this person, and I'm like, ooh. Because I don't know how, like, a lot of people's origin stories and stuff. Because I'm not into
I mean, I didn't know Myth clapped until today, so
Hey,
Yeah,
congrats, man.
and that's important in Twitch lore.
that's right.
Anyway, so I'm in the Uber and I'm having a good time. I'm talking to these two people, and then we get to this house and it's amazing. And then everybody else shows up. We hang out they have a home cinema for a bit. We just chat. And then the Botez sisters show up, and Alex is like, does everyone want to do a house tour? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do a house tour. And it's a sick house.
The
Like,
house
it's a
is
really
the house
nice
is genuinely
Yeah,
gigantic.
they have a fucking movie
It's
theater
fucking
there.
enormous.
They got a
Crazy.
home gym. They got an outdoor area with a giant chessboard. Anyway, we're having fun. We're talking. And then Alex is like, does anyone want to play poker? Let's play like 2-5 or something. And I'm like, now you're talking my language. Let's get some action going. And we look for a deck of cards through this house. Like, Alex is trying to find one. She brings the chip set out. And I'm drunk. Like, I know I'm probably going to be a dog because I know Alex has like done some poker study in her life. And she seems a lot less drunk than me. But I'm like, I want the action. Let's go.
Yeah, but you've also broken some ankles in your day.
Yeah, I played a lot of poker. And we can't find anything. And it's like looking like it's winding down. But then she's like, do you want to play heads up?
Dude,
She's a
And I'm
gamer.
like, no,
Yeah.
but no,
Alex
the
fiends,
thing
dude.
about Alex is like she wants to be playing a game a lot.
she comes upstairs. She looked for the deck for so long because she had the chip case upstairs like really quickly. She wanted to play really bad. She's excited, like $500 buy-in, fucking like.
Dude, oh man, I wish I was.
And I'm
Yeah,
asking like, are we gonna do a
and
cash
then,
game or
and
a
then
tournament?
she can't find the cards.
We're like
so she's
discussing
like,
what's gonna happen.
she's like,
Yeah.
wait. We could play like we could get the cards on our phone, and then we could play like with cards on our
oh
phone.
my God.
Like she wants to play bad.
you know the free poker online thing?
Yeah.
She's like, we can just play online.
Yeah, and at 2:30 in the morning, I get a DM from Alex while we're at the party, and it's just a Poker Now link. Like she's trying to get the lads
She's
into
really trying
Poker
to
Now
go for
on
it.
our phones at 2:30,
The
gathered
additional
around the
context
fire.
is there's a big clip on LSF the next day because it's her coach John Ludwig Hammer who is also there, and she just had the worst chess session of her career. And she's like, why am I doing so bad? And in my head, after hearing all these stories, I know why you're doing bad.
Yeah, you were in an Ed, and Eddie episode
Yeah.
by accident.
It's because you started playing chess like 4 hours after
Yeah.
we left that party.
Yeah,
That's
he-
why.
and he's a grandmaster, and he's here for all of this.
Oh,
man.
man.
He wakes up halfway
Yeah.
through the party. We were leaving man sleeping,
Yeah.
but then he walks upstairs and he's like, you guys woke me up. And then he comes and hangs out for a bit.
He
Yeah.
was the only reason why I was slightly jealous I didn't go, but then he came to the Super Bowl party.
And in my head, I was like, what's his perspective on all this? What's he think?
He's probably pretty used to it, I'd say.
I can only imagine. I don't think the Kanker sisters come around that often, right? Like
But-
as in a
No.
situation like that.
Back to my perspective, I am oblivious that these people are here. I think I'm going to play heads up with Alex Botez.
You're like, okay, I guess like her range would be like,
Yeah. No, and she's like, oh, you're doing being just a classic, polite, switched on, intelligent person where she's like, you probably are really good, right? Like, you're probably going to like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to get owned. And I'm like, I saw you on the Doug Polk podcast. Like, you've spent time talking to the greatest heads up player, and like, I know that you're great at
So like,
strategy.
do 7's bad?
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea that like you're gonna have an idea of how
what
heads
a
up
hustle
works.
she's
Yeah,
trying.
yeah.
Yeah.
She's
And
hustling a bit.
she smiled at that. She was like, "Oh, you saw the Doug thing?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I know what you want to do on a 4-bet when it's like,
Anyway, we don't end up playing poker, but I'm just like walking around like, "Oh, I might play poker and I might do that." I'm just having, and then the shrooms come into the like. I'm just having a good time, and then suddenly Cutie Cinderella's like running downstairs, and I'm like, Austin, what's happening?
You clutch him. Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
just
then-
had a dream.
And then
Nothing bad.
Nick, so we did this big reveal of who Mafia was, and we found out pretty quickly
Yeah.
who the bad people
She
were.
was
and
Mafia, by
who
the way.
brought them?
It
Dude,
was her.
I was laughing so hard because everyone in the room is using 1,000 words to explain why these people were bad. And Miles on mushrooms and alcohol is so sick of hearing them say all the same thing at the same time. And he like interjects and goes, "She was Mafia, yeah." Like, like move on. And I start busting up laughing, and no one else laughs because like no one else really understands what he's saying. And I'm laughing my ass off because I'm just like I can't contextualize why that's so funny at the time to them.
Hey, as a serial drunk guy, I'm a circular conversation connoisseur. I'll be the first to say I've had the same conversation with people for half an hour. But I was trying to vibe. There was cool people. They were having cool conversations, and I was like, let's not let these
Yeah.
weird
Not
people.
Yeah,
let
Miles
them get
leans
it
to me.
down, okay.
Miles leans to me while this is all being told and goes, "They're still talking about this."
Oh.
And I start laughing, and I'm like, and then he starts talking to me, a separate conversation, because he doesn't want to hear their conversation anymore, and I don't either. But I don't want to hear two conversations.
Yeah, and you're like,
So-
this is just too
So
much.
I tell Miles, I'm like, I'm with you. I don't want to hear this either, but I can't hear two, so I need to pick one, and they're not going to stop. So you have to stop. And he's like, okay. And so we finish out the story, and then that's when I decide I'm gonna leave. And I go up to Cutie, and I'm like, hey, dude, they need a ride.
About what time is this?
4 a.m.
Jesus Christ.
I go up
Yeah,
to Cutie,
it's so late.
and I go, do they need a ride? And she's like, yes, take Scott. I go up to Scott, and I'm like, Scott, me and you are leaving right now. And he goes, okay. And then I go to grab my things, and I come back. He goes, hey, I baited you. I'm not leaving. None of us are leaving. And
Because I wanted to stay. I thought we were the first people.
and that's the
leaving.
video you saw of us in the toilet where we're all
Yeah.
saying who's leaving, who's going.
Yeah, did someone send me that?
Dude, they rushed me again. I was just
funny.
in there trying to take a whiz.
I have that on my phone.
Which you should have
yeah,
just
yeah.
gone because you ended up like Ubering 10 minutes later.
Yeah, no, literally, I was like, Nick, it's this is a party, and I'm partying.
yeah, so everyone
But I love taking car rides with Nick.
Everyone assures me we are no, we're actually saying we baited you, sorry. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, well, they got Cutie sober. They told me they're not leaving. They even vouched for that Cutie was also not leaving. But I could have sworn Cutie told me that she was. And I'm like, they told me they're not leaving. So I get in my car and I go. I'm like 20 minutes out and Cutie messages me, have you left yet? They all need a ride. And I'm like, what the
Love that.
fuck happened?
Love being a DD.
That's when I see the video of all of them in the bathroom just screaming at each other like they're leaving. And I'm like so mad.
Just chaos.
So I'm like, I did everything I had to do. I covered all grounds. I asked
you-
them. I went.
You
The
played it-
problem
you played it
is
great. You played it
You
great.
listened to Scott, and you should have just listened to Cutie. And it was like, Scott, this is not a question. You're coming
Dude,
with
because
us.
when Cutie rounded me up 10 minutes later, she's like, Miles, we're leaving. I'm like, okay. And then she told me on the way out, she was like, the house is haunted, so you have to throw this biscuit over your shoulder.
So
Did you do it?
Into
Instantly.
saltine.
It's actually so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's saltine.
I-
I was like, what, they got
You throw
Popeyes?
saltine over the shoulder.
They call
Although
them
Aiden was
biscuits.
eating his, which is out of pocket.
Is that true?
You ate the ghost,
Yeah.
bro.
Dude,
Now
you're
you
so
have a ghost
haunt-
in
you
you.
ate it.
haunt us. It's like
I
COVID
didn't
again.
know. I didn't know. They
God
didn't
damn you.
explain.
They literally,
They just gave me a
literally
saltine.
handed it to you, and the first thing you did is took a bite. Then they explained it to you, and you took another bite. So there's no defense from you.
You disrespected the ghost after you knew.
Oh, I did.
The
do
Yeah.
weekend
that.
is
Did
gonna
do that.
fucking destroy your soul.
So the last thing I do, I'm like, I'm not frustrated, but I'm leaving this party and I'm so overwhelmed. So much has happened. A lot of it's funny. A lot of it, I'm just really tired. It's 4 a.m. I'm walking out, and my swan song before I walk out the door is I'm walking, and I do like a double take, and I see a Ouija board that is like in the box packaged.
Mm.
And so I unpackage the Ouija board and I take it out and I put it on the staircase and I scatter some of the pieces, and then I put the little dial thing on the word no, and then I left.
You
And I
are.
was hoping that at some point Andrea would walk downstairs and shit her fucking pants.
Yeah. Wow. What a move.
And then I got in the car and went home.
Doing it sober is a different level too.
Again,
Sober mind.
journalist hat on, Peepo G.
Yeah.
You know,
What
I was
can I
I was
do?
hoping that would it never showed up later. So I'm assuming they just like someone opened it.
Andrea Botez is just like, I'm leaving and never coming back.
So
She
nothing-
tweets it out.
I think at this point nothing else really interesting happens, but you
We
capped
had a
off your
final
evening
act, a
nicely.
secret act.
Secret act.
This whole time, after when we were chugging Estes at the Airbnb, Scott says to me, I got some hot Cheetos in my bag. And I say, those hurt my tummy, but I really like them.
It's just
And
like
he
everything
said-
here.
We're going to need them later. And so we came home, and I first was like, I hope Nick's home. I hope he got home safe. And I run into his room and jump into his bed. with him.
I'm like, oh, finally, I'm in bed. Fuck. I like go lay down. I open my laptop to put on like a video to fall asleep to, and Miles just goes, and opens the door instantly and hobbles in and then gets in my bed and he's like, "What are we doing?"
He had like some sweet potato chips with him.
Fries.
No, I had
No,
the
like-
veggie chips.
Oh
that-
yeah.
from Sprouts, and I'm watching a chess video, and he's just like, "What are we doing now?" And I'm like, Miles, go leave. I'm going
Yeah,
to
I'm
bed.
done.
I can't do anymore. And he's good. He goes, "Okay," and he gets up and he just instantly leaves.
One thing I know about Nick is that sometimes he just can't be on the wave
I mean,
because it's not physically like at this point the mushies are like still chilling a little bit, and I have to respect it. When it's a no from him. So I just have to leave.
when Miles came, last night, because he was staying in my room, and I had my door closed. I came home pretty late. I'm watching a video, and he knocks on the door, and then he just opens it. He's like, "Can I come in here, brush my teeth, please? My toothbrush is in here." Like he said it like a little kid.
Because I know you get annoyed when people
He's
do
like
that.
stammering.
Yeah. I was like,
Anyway,
yeah,
so
it's
me and
alright.
Scott Damon, we get in your bed. Trainwrecks isn't on, so that's option 1 gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we start for some reason, Lilypichu is VTubing at 4:30 a.m.
Okay.
And she's getting really philosophical as this like
Oh my god.
little cute anime girl behind a computer. And she's like, "Do you ever think?" She's like, "Michael is great. He's just a great boyfriend. But 5 years is just such a long time into the future. I don't know what's gonna happen." And she's just like talking about her life. And me and Scott are just like, so true, bestie. we just start
in my bed,
we
no
start
shirts
munching-
on.
No shirt.
On mushrooms.
shirts off, hot Cheetos, Lilypichu VTubing, and we're just going down this philosophical rabbit hole
She's
with
just
her.
saying the Vegas shit that they're just latching
and we
on
just
to.
like, we get it.
You just don't know what happens in the future, and they're like,
and-
you don't.
and
And that's the thing about
and
the
to
future.
cap this all off, because I didn't have any of this fucking context until literally right now. Scott sent one of the people in this bed with Miles. Scott sent a DM to like our Discord of like close friends that reads exactly: Lilypichu spreading microchipping everyone
I saw that. Yeah.
through through Wi-Fi for 5G. This is insane. And then next message: Miles and I are lily pilled. And then next message: minus the crazy shit. And I read
Scott
that.
never talks like this.
I read that and said, "Yeah, I'm going to fucking bed."
Yeah.
She went on this tangent about how we need the 5G
She was like-
implanted in
She
us.
literally said, "Wouldn't it be cool?" And then said the like cell phone tower conspiracy theory verbatim. But she was like, "Wouldn't
But
that
she was
be
on
cool?"
board with it.
Yeah.
As
like,
a
wouldn't that be
VTuber.
sick?
As,
As a little
yeah.
anime girl.
Wouldn't it be cool if we all got microshotted and then we would always have 5G?
Okay, so
I got my 5Gs right here.
that is Archie. Real
Like
quick,
that.
can you put dawn of the second day?
I'm just being a little conscious of time, and I got a lot of prezzies for my 4 Valentine's.
You want to do a
here.
prezi break for Valentine's?
present
time?
break. That's
And my
pretty much
fifth
it for that
Valentine's
story.
at home in Australia.
Aw.
Well, no, she's actually in Malaysia at the moment.
Aw.
All right,
will be
bust
home
down,
in Australia
bust down,
soon.
bring them out.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
we're doing
Prezi
this in the
time.
morning because he has Valentine's and
Times.
you have
I got
Valentine's.
Valentine's.
Eamon and I.
Aiden's got like 3 or 4 Valentines. And
He's lined them up.
Is
He's
that
got
true?
He's
Eamon?
got a 4, a 6, and an
Nah.
8.
Did you
PM.
send the same message to like 7 people or what?
dear
I
customer.
didn't say happy.
Who does the templating?
Thank you for ordering a pillow cube.
if you want to go on another date, type yes. All caps.
Dude,
to
that's
stop
so
receiving
funny.
these messages? Type no,
Yeah,
all
type
caps.
stop.
All right, so I have personal gifts for all of you,
That's hype.
and
Whip them out.
they relate to our friendship and who we are as people.
While he's getting these out, let me contextualize. We met Miles. It was actually he came here in 2017 to SoCal to grind Melee, and from Australia after grinding poker a bunch, saved up a bunch of money, and you came here like I want to be the best, and then you came to SoCal where you thought was the best place to stay and grind. And so you came here. You needed a place to stay. You stayed on the floor of a place called Final Destination Cards and Games in Carson, California. And then you were like, I need a place to live, actually, though.
I was homeless for a little while.
You posted on the page, SoCal Melee. You said, hey, I need a place. And then Nick was like,
And
hey, man.
the same week, one of my roommates disappeared.
Yeah, just
Out
without
of thin
a
air,
trace.
disappeared, and like didn't call, didn't pay any more rent. Just we didn't hear from him at all. And I was like, I need a fucking roommate. And then Miles posts, I'm looking for a place to live. I can pay rent. In SoCal, and I was just like, let's do it. We met up at a Mayhem, and we made sure
We met up at a tournament, and Nick was like, "Do you want to come check out the room?" And I came and checked out the room, and I
Yeah.
never left.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
And then later on, because I would hang out with like everyone in that house, I would meet Miles. We went to our first tournament together. It was Gooms' tournament in Culver City, which lasted for like 3 weeks. And we went, and we were in the back seat with V-Money. V-Money talking a lot of shit.
Oh no.
Me and Miles, I'm like, this guy's funny. I like this guy. We end up bonding. That's really nice.
That was cool.
And then we end up being friends. And then we end up meeting Dawson, who runs Power 9. The three of us are like, hey, remember Bad Melee is a podcast I used to do for Melee stuff? It went a little hiatus. I was like, we'll bring it back. We'll have Jet, who runs the stream here, do the camera. We'll do it live. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, and there was like a weird... I have this feeling with some people that when I meet them, I just know that we're going to be friends. And it happened with you. And I remember talking shit in the Power Night. Remember we used to say Dawson's bits were really chill?
Yeah. We had chill bits.
Yeah, chill bits.
Yeah.
And the three of us talking, I was like, this is cool. And then you had the wherewithal and the foresight to be like, let's involve microphones.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I put it out. I put out the bat signal. It was on stream at a Power 9. We were commentating, which are great fucking tournaments. And I was like, I will only bring back the podcast because, the old heads would clamor for it. I said, I'll only bring back the podcast if I get 100 dick pics in a row. And some guy collected 100 pictures of dicks and DM'd me on Twitter. And I was like...
He's like a majority whip. He got like all the dicks
yeah.
he needed.
I was pissed though because I was
He
like...
brought up all the dick pics.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, these are just other people's dicks.
Come on, we need 2 more
Counts.
votes.
But I did say, that's right, I was like a man of my word. And then the next week, we put it together. And then...
Imagine that guy didn't put the
Thanks,
work in.
guy.
Honestly, it might not have happened.
None of it might have happened.
And nowadays, I don't need that sort of motivation, so don't fucking think about it. But yeah.
Now you give that motivation.
Now it's
Nice.
1,000 hogs for a new show.
Yeah.
So get posting, Yarders.
And then we ended up making a Patreon to like get Miles back out here.
Yeah, I came back in 2018 to do the show, which had then moved to BTS.
That's right.
That you'd been hired at through Slime on the Scene and other funny bits.
That's right. Zipper actually produced a couple of that shows too.
He did. He'll remember that.
My special selfish insert here is that because I wasn't around with you guys back then, but I actually met Miles in 2016 at a tournament in Australia in Perth, which is also coincidentally the only time you've been to Perth.
It is.
And
Perth is on the other side of it, by the way. It's like Perth,
West Coast.
and then there's like Melbourne.
Are there
The
people in
distance
Australia
between-
who are like West Coast, Best Coast, and live in
Yes.
Perth?
I met at the party. I heard an Australian accent from across the room, and I was like, "Hey, mate." I came over, and this girl was really drunk, and she was like, clearly, like Perth people have a different accent. And she was like, we started talking.
Oi,
she's like,
oi, oi, cabba. Yeah, I was gonna say.
She's like, I'm from Perth. And I'm just like, oh. And then she started like looking angry, and I just like backed away. Because I was like, oh, I'm from Melbourne. She's like, oh.
Oh, Melbourne.
And I faded away back into the
I
background.
knew I
saw you-
smelled something.
This was about 10 minutes before I met you. Anyway.
Yeah, and then they were like, there was a terrible girl this night. And he's like, yeah, I met her.
Yeah.
She's
Oh,
from
the Perth girl?
I'm not up with how many stories you guys have told, because it was actually when the inception of this podcast, Nick told me about it. And I was feeling really cool over COVID because I was like, my life sucks. In Melbourne, we were on like, I think a collective like nearly 12 months total of lockdown where you can't leave your house
You get
more than
arrested
an hour.
leaving
They're
house,
serious
right?
Like,
about it. Yeah.
Police will pull you over.
Yeah.
And like you are doing groceries or you're in your house. And it was like a really depressing time for me. Meanwhile, my best friends from America were blowing up, and it was cool to see all the success. And I would go to bed and I would think about my friends in America, and I'd be like, you know what? I feel accomplished as a person because I'm 0% jealous. And I'm 100% happy.
Mm.
And then Nick was like, comes on Discord one day and he's like, we have this idea. We're going to do a podcast. And I'm like, okay, my heart drops a little bit.
Yeah.
I love, like, Twitch isn't for me in the same way that this is for me. Like, I feel like talking is something that I really like.
Yeah, I was saying before, I was like, Miles is like, he's like podcast grease.
Yeah.
Like it's like he just keeps everything smooth and buttery and rolling, and that's why I think Bad Melee was such a hit, honestly, because like it was Dawson who was opinionated, me who was opinionated, but we have to find that spot, and you kind of just like kept everything juicy and flowing, and I like that.
and it's like that.
I'm the guy to make an analogy out of something that makes no sense, and it somehow
You really do put it together.
glues it.
The amount of times I've heard Miles compare something to the starting island in an MMO.
Yeah, oh my god. He's
There's
like,
a lot of
it's
starting
like an
islands.
MMO when, and I'm
Yeah.
like, he's about to spit facts,
Yeah.
even though he said the same thing.
It's about to make a lot of
month
sense.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you said the thing you're most mad about or sad about was that it was called The Yard.
Yeah, when he showed me pictures of the set that you guys were designing, and it was going to be called The Yard, and that is something you guys have told a lot of stories about the inception of that name.
Uh-huh.
And these are a lot of stories that are near and dear to me. They're some of the best times of my life.
Which I think is fair because it is appropriation on the behalf of these three gentlemen because they never fought in the yard.
That's true. Also,
And he feels shame.
I've talked to Miles about this. I'm like, we're appropriating yard culture because like the yard came around when I stopped drinking, and I consider drinking sort of like this crucial element.
I don't, as somebody who does drink.
And that's a difference between us. And then Nick capping all the time, right? He is the reporter.
Yeah.
He's grabbing captions.
You know, and I'm like,
I'm on my extra
He's been
shit.
putting out Ouija boards.
and it's like I've been in some yards, but they were a long time ago.
Mhm.
You know, and I've been in some wilds, but it was a long time ago.
Oh.
And I was always the largest, you know, the most older man.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I'm not. The closest I ever got to fighting Miles was at a Smash camp, and I was like, I don't want to do this. He's too drunk, and he wants it.
Yeah.
Because you slapped my back or some shit. You were out of pocket.
Was I?
We were fooling around.
Oh,
it was not a bet.
okay.
But you were like, I was like, you want to go outside right now? You're like, oh, and then you like hop out like Tigger.
Dude, into the snow.
Yeah,
He's already outside his shirt off, and you're like, oh.
dead ass. And I was like, I don't want
I
to
was
do
whipping
this.
my gear
Yeah.
off already.
Too quick.
Because
Too
like
quick.
I don't want to get. It's like
We're gonna get frosty out
you know,
there.
too frosty. So yeah.
Anyway,
that was the winter one.
I had this conversation with Nick, and I was like, okay, you got me. I'm jealous. I was like, it's gonna be called the yard.
And
It's
Nick's
gonna
like,
be
we
this
also have
cool-
an Australian guy.
Yeah.
And he's going to be on
He
it.
told me the
His
lineup
name's
as well,
Biles.
and I'm like, I know it's gonna be fire. I know it's gonna be a success. And for a while, because I was sitting at home playing 14 games of League a day, because I couldn't leave my house. I had quit my job because it became unworkable because of COVID, and we were just in limbo. And people would come into my stream or whatever and be like, dude, the yard is so funny, man. Like these stories about you and like these guys and like all this. They'd be like, have you watched it? And I'd be like, I'm sure it's fire, but I can't watch it.
Yeah, you were
Because like
talking
for the
about
first
this.
10 episodes, like I have no way of ever knowing if I'm going to see these people live again. And it's all shit that was like, I lived these stories, if that's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like...
It's just pain simulator.
it's hard to, and then as soon as we booked plane tickets, I was like, oh, this is watchable again. I can click the YouTube
When you
button.
knew you
and
could see us.
Yeah, and that was around the Italy time, which I feel like was fire. But I haven't seen the first 10 episodes, so I don't know.
I actually
What's been
like when
covered?
our friends don't watch it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want the
haven't seen-
fans to be separate.
Now that I'm in America as well, I don't watch.
Yeah.
Because I know
You're
what
living
gonna-
it.
Yeah, you're
Anyway,
just in the shit.
it's present time, everybody.
Oh, yeah,
Any gift receivers?
presents. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this a little bit quick because I don't know how long you
Hey,
It's
whatever,
fine,
run
totally
it.
fine.
Bust down.
Okay, we're busting down. For Eamon Gaiman, you're first up. And this is like the gift that is either going to be a hit or you already have it and it's trash to you.
He also hates gifts because he doesn't feel things. So
I don't have this.
It
okay, you
says
describe it for the.
Oh my
Okay,
god!
Oh, this is hard.
Fuck, we
What?
A
have that.
challenge.
Holy
So what
shit!
this is the website that
This is a
TOs
T-shirt that says Challenge on it with the logo of Challenge on the back for the audio.
Yeah, it's the
listeners.
website for
Oh,
TOs.
okay.
Yeah, you gotta
It's a
describe
website
it
for
them.
TOs
Yeah.
that they use to run tournaments. It's the free software.
A really bad website that has since been moved on from. But Eamon Gaiman would have had to deal with this website and this company. And
Why did you
everybody
think he would
removed
have had
This is
this?
fucking crazy.
That-
It's
that is-
honestly something you could have. for real.
That is a crazy
Did
gift.
you
This
come
is-
close to ever having this?
tournament merch that I won for
no.
like coming third at something.
This is so hard.
So that
This
makes
is
it
so
official.
cool.
And I've kept it for. I've had this shirt for like 6 years. It's
Oh.
washed now.
That makes
what
sense.
the fuck? It's washed now.
It's
Like-
just, it's an old shirt.
Like it's worn.
oh,
Not
I was
like it has been
No, yeah,
cleaned.
I'll like put some water
No,
on it.
it looks worn, but that gives it
so that's
charm.
fine. I like that.
Yeah. So there you go.
Thank you.
That's
Good,
really
good
That's
gift.
super cool. I
Little
think,
OG tournament organizer memorabilia.
dude, this is every TO would like one of these, man. This is fucking dope.
Mm.
That's a sick shirt.
And
Yeah.
your
Is that
second
not
gift-
just like getting someone who plays video games a shirt that says gamer?
This is some deep cut
too
shit.
deep
But it's
cut.
it's
I
more
guess, yeah.
niche,
That's
right?
so different.
Because you would never bump into
also
a person
won
with a
it.
shirt on.
It's like having
Yeah.
a
Wiki
super,
dot
he earned
smash.
Dude,
no, it's like having a Super Mario box art shirt, but like in 1991.
Liquipedia.com.
this is software that has since been obsoleted as well, which I think
No,
adds
it
something.
exists.
It's
But
it's
no
good for
one
quick
uses it.
quick and
I-
no, it's quick and dirty.
I use it
For quick and
Yeah.
dirty
I
tournaments.
use
yeah.
this on a monthly basis.
But
Well,
you,
all right, so
you don't want to have to load
when I run my
Smash
little
EG.
Sykkuno OTV
But it's
event,
not
I'm
like,
Shalom.
I'm sure very few people will.
Any
be
other
able to
reasons you
relate
hate
to
it, Ludwig?
this.
While we're here,
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
yeah.
it's not rare.
Piece of
It's not
shit.
Also,
special.
the color's
Fuck that
bad.
gift.
the font.
you know you're about to get a gift, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm excited.
Okay, and Aiden's second present.
What?
Two
Oh my.
presents for Aiden.
Carlton Draft. This is an Australian lager polo.
I
That
love
might
this
be
shirt.
a bit of a handful for the
Oh
people.
my
I
God.
fucking love this.
Oh, he loves it.
I
It's-
fucking love this.
That's
So
an Australian
I
fit.
got this when I worked at the stadium at home that do our big sport AFL, and I would serve beers to people.
Australian
mid-strength
Football
beers.
League.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I want to put this on with some like rugby shorts and go do like a fucked up accent.
This was
places.
part of my uniform because Carlton Draft was the sponsor, and I stole it, and I have had this for 10 years.
Easy.
And now it's yours.
10 years?
Fucking awesome.
Dude, that is
Wow.
It
so.
looks really small. I'm not gonna cap.
It does.
It is-
I didn't want to
he's-
say it because I was negative on the last
No,
one.
he can fit in that.
He's pretty
No, I'll
small,
fit.
boy.
Dude, try it on.
He's so
I'll fit.
long.
Throw it on. Find out.
It
Fuck
might be
around
like
and find
a crop
out.
top, but that's pog.
While he's putting it on, Cutie tweeted out something that said, "Try to be less like you and more like Saikuno." And you
We
told her
were
that.
on Omegle last night, and there was a guy who was like mean to Cutie. It said something like because they do Omegle and they go in the Twitch tag, so it's people who watch Twitch. And the guy was like, "Yeah, I really like Ludwig, but I don't get why he's
Oh, it
dating that
fits it.
girl.
Uh-huh.
It's
She's,
like a-
Oh,
she's,
let him talk. Let him talk.
she's not pretty.
Uh-huh.
Something like that. She's just and she was there, but I don't think he knew that it was Cutie. And then she's like, "I'm Cutie. That was mean." And then they skipped. He stayed in the queue for like an hour to try to find them and snipe them.
Ugh.
I eventually come down and I see him and he's like, "Dude, I'm such a big fan." And I was like, "Hey man, you should be less like you and more like Saikuno."
But you said it to her,
to him,
to the guy.
to be nicer.
Okay, she made it sound like you said it to her.
No.
Like you were coaching her.
I had
That's
how
That's
what I
what
thought.
I thought too.
I know, that's what I
No.
go.
For sure.
I said it to the guy.
Okay.
That's somehow.
It does actually.
It's somehow
He looks
simultaneously
like a
an
handsome
Aiden
British
shirt
man.
and a
Dude,
Miles
his
shirt.
arms
Yeah.
have never looked longer.
You look great.
What
Hey,
got?
let's hit buys after this.
Yeah.
Get you pumped up.
Well, I'll keep the shirt on while we do it.
So, 2-parter gift, but the second part's for slime. This guy right here
Wait, who's part one for?
Oh shit!
is a VB polo. So the rival beer, the other big lager in Australia is called VB, and this is a polo much like Eamon's, but
Oh,
of
that's
the,
so
the,
hard.
the Horde to Carlton Draft's Alliance. if you will.
Yeah.
So when you guys play Melee, these can be your uniforms
Ah.
to represent
Every set.
warring factions.
So it's green. It's all embroidered. These are very nice.
None of this shit's on Redbubble, bro.
It's
This is
it's
real
VB
VB merch.
for a hot and thest. That's the logo, and then it's got an embroidered pauldron
That's so sick.
with
Yeah.
the
That's
logo
tight.
on the. This is great.
I'm gonna beat
You
him
guys
with
can
the
both be
shirt
I'm a
on.
fighting for
Victoria
different
Bitters fan.
teams.
You like VB?
Yeah. It's the only one because Miles is the one he'd always talk about.
It's the one for me.
Yeah.
I have 2 gifts for you. This is the second part. It's a Life-Saving Australia hat, and because you came to Australia and you loved it and you felt at home there, it says Australian for life on the side
Wow.
because you're an honorary Australian.
Wow.
Wow.
Say the word. Say the word.
Wallaby.
Oh, not that word.
That's-
No, that's what I call it now.
Say the demonetized word.
Me,
Do
me
it.
and those,
Monetized.
me and those guys was searching for some wallaby.
They're the word that packs the whole thing up.
Put this on.
Wow, the highest honor.
I am wearing a hat today because I haven't been able to shave because I got the goddamn Sanoderm, so I look like a fucking 40-year-old man. So this is great for me. Ooh, it's a high hat. These
Yeah,
are good.
That is good.
Yeah, this is great.
You're up next, Nick.
Thank you,
I love
Miles.
that for
So
me.
you're a big merch guy now.
Big merch guy.
Yeah, podcasting, selling merch, just living the LA dream.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a little merch that we made.
This feels like I'm on Nardwar right now.
This is like Nardwar.
this is
You'll
Probably
remember when
the-
you burned down that
this is
forest,
probably
right,
the,
Nick?
the rarest gift.
You should be in
The
jail.
rarest?
This is
Yeah,
the
why not?
rarest gift.
Oh my.
This was made on a Redbubble-like platform by an Australian legend called Mungo. People at home.
You never met Mungo,
no,
but
I heard of the Mungo
I love
Slayer.
Anytime-
Mungo
I-
so much, dude.
Because you talk about how you want to come to BAM.
So badly.
I'm peeping.
It's a bag with Chapos on it.
Chapos.
Another
Love
Australian
Chapos.
hero. So
Love
it's a,
Chapos.
and
This
at the
is
top
so
it says,
funny.
"Please come to BAM in flames riding."
That's sick. That's tight.
Chapos is great.
That
When
is
I went
so
to BAM
funny.
and met the whole squad, I was like, this
Oh
is
my.
truly the all-star team.
This is a nice bag.
Yeah.
It's not like a regular drawstring.
Oh yeah,
No.
this is like canvas.
It's
this
like
is
a
nice.
cloth.
It's got a little zipper pocket.
This is
Shout
what
out to
our
Chapos.
merch is looking like down under.
This is my tournament bag now.
Your
Oh,
new-
that's
your
so
new
hot.
He's got a
crossbody?
good fox.
This is so crazy.
And Chapos is praying that you come.
Chapos,
I'll be there.
Huey, Mungo,
Chapos, I'll be
Wade.
there.
I don't know what he's up to.
Sundowns.
Uh,
That's just from
You're going through the
Dean-
Final Fantasy
Dean-
like 16 lineup.
Kalen.
Kalen. Dude, I
Titus,
met all these
Aura.
guys and I was just like, I just want to fucking.
Dumb.
This is great. These are great boys.
MSJ.
MSJ.
Oh,
Skip.
legend.
Even
There's-
even SA
There's
Nick.
so many names.
No. Not him. Not you.
All
Nick.
right.
It's for
The second part of
I
your
do?
gift- Yeah. Everyone has 2 except Ludwig because he already has enough gifts.
That's what I'm
right.
saying, yeah.
Ludwig only has
That
1
checks out.
I feel like all I
This
like
is
to
a
do is
bag?
give.
with 2 chains in it. Okay, so it's a small bag here. I'm opening it up. It has 2 gold chains in it, and you're gonna choose one that you like better.
Mm.
Holy shit.
I'll hold them in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm the merchant's assistant. Ah, pretty nice, huh?
Holy shit!
So one's like a pretty good chain. It's like got bigger links, and one of them has much smaller, sort of dense.
I think
links.
he likes the one in your right hand more. That's my guess. But maybe he would like the one on the left because he was less likely to get that normally.
Well, you can't call both, so I'm going this one.
Mm.
I'm going this one.
He got the
That is
smaller
the one
link.
Can I
that's
make
the
a
one.
read, Miles? Is the other one for you because we're the Ice Boys?
Yes.
Oh, this is going
So
on
now
right
I have
now.
some ice with my ice boy.
Oh, I
Wow.
love that so much.
And that's me and Nick's Mario Party team name. When he doesn't team with Ludwig, it's like an alternate team.
Yeah, in
Like
an
it-
alternate universe where I don't
it's when the
exist.
fans choose.
Yeah, it's the fan favorite
the fan
team.
vote on the compendium.
It's
So
like
now when we play Mario Party together, we'll have.
it's like
Oh,
what's the
man.
game? Is it Double Dash where you pick two characters and it gives you a team name, or is that just
Oh, yeah.
Mario Party?
No,
that's
it's
Mario Party. It's
Mario Party?
Mario Party 6.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah.
I do that all the
These
time.
were gifts from my great aunt who went a little bit crazy.
These are heirlooms.
In a way, I mean, she has gold everything. And one day when she felt like maybe she was starting to need to give gifts in her life, she said, have as many of these as you want.
Wow.
And
So
so
it's not
these are
just something
two-
you picked
You
up.
know what I
It's,
get you?
No, no.
Bro, I don't know
I
how
can
this
get you,
works.
oh, you never.
I wear
Oh,
one.
broke
It's
talk?
just different.
It is
Oh, broke shit.
more confusing. It's a latch.
Miles, what does it? Is it counterclockwise? What do you do here?
I wasn't going to open them till this moment.
Yeah.
Dad, help me too.
The pull, you just pull. It's a latch.
Is mine the
Unless
same?
it's different.
Mine's not. Mine's different.
It's you. This is dad shit right now. Taking care of the boys.
You just put your
taking care
thumb
of
in the
the
little
kids.
hole,
Uh-huh.
and then it should pull out. But I think it's a bit. How you say fucked.
Oh, you say.
You just have to pull after you push.
So
Look,
tee
I'll
up
toggle with it
Ludwig's,
as we continue.
So Ludwig's gift here is a conversation me and Ludwig had a long, long time ago when he used to hang out at the house me and Nick lived in. And it's about the best pizza in the world, which happens to be right down the road from my house. Best pizza in the world, 500
in
gradi.
Australia.
Best margarita is the claim.
I thought homie was talking about Pomona.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, in Australia,
Yeah.
I said the best pizza in the world,
Yeah.
margarita, comes from, and Ludwig said there is no shot that is the case.
I still think that.
We looked it up and we were looking for their award. We were looking through like Italian PDFs. It was really,
some white papers.
yeah. Do you remember this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still believe no shot.
So I heard that you got into wood firing pizzas a little bit.
I
as well.
did.
What I have here for you
I was a pizza guy for a short time.
He was a pizza guy. We still have the stone.
is the book written by World's Best Pizza, the chef in question. And now you can make pizza just like him.
Wow. So he self-titled his book "World's Best Pizza."
Because he's got the
Is it
award.
Because
Anthony
he knows how
Falco?
it be.
Because
No,
you
it's
know
a
how it
different
be.
guy.
Because he knows he makes.
To be
it the best.
fair, although he lives in Australia, his name is Francesco.
What
he's
is
Italian.
that?
Yeah,
He's
Italians
Italian.
do move places sometimes.
Yeah,
He's
it's
Italian.
crazy.
That's true.
I thought he was just like in Australia.
It's almost like we have an immigration population as well.
Oh, okay. We can get into Australian immigration in a moment. Okay, I have many thoughts on that. This is great.
Aw. This is such a pyrrhic, sort of a sad gift because he has long abandoned his pizza endeavors. He might pick them back up.
Being a pizza guy is forever slung.
Pie never quite leaves you.
I
Yeah.
like to
When I
think
went
that.
to this place again and I saw that this guy had a book talking about all about how, I had to buy it.
I would love to see Ludwig's chops after he gives that a read.
Little read, little whirl.
Because I will say, as much shit as I've given Ludwig for abandoning his pizza ways, when he did make them, I enjoyed them.
They weren't bad.
They were
Yeah,
pretty
they were good.
So that's really nice.
That's
Thank you,
all for the
Miles.
Thanks, Miles. You're
Thank
a
you
friend.
so much.
I like you, man, a lot, man.
gift. I like you, man.
You know, one of the saddest I've ever felt in my life was the first time Miles left America because he left his jersey hanging over the CRT.
The legacy.
And I remember taking a picture of it because I remember I was like, I wasn't sad until now.
yeah.
And then I
what-
was really sad.
You've seen it in the case, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we
Uh-huh.
encased his jersey and we have it in our
He
house.
left it on the rafters. He said, I got to leave high school, boys, but you lock it down.
When you took him to the airport that one time, it was like his second trip like home, whereas like the big trip home, you guys listened to Tricky Mac
Oh
and Benny
my.
T, but it was the bad album,
Dude, so, oh, man.
and it sucked,
We,
and
we,
it was
we,
like,
we just weren't enjoying a new Tricky Mac album, particularly because Benny T wasn't on it. And then there was one song with Benny T on it that came
he
on
shows
out
up
of
at
nowhere.
the end.
And it was just like the scene in the movie.
It
Where
was like
everything
when we
worked
saw
out.
each other at the party.
Yes.
That's the exact same vibe
That was
I
the
had.
song that played in our heads. It
Oi.
was the dream
Oi,
time.
it's your boy.
Benny T.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's back.
God, and that song is beautiful too because he just tells him about all the times he was like a hard and ripped all the cones.
That whole
It's like,
song, the dream time by Tricky Mac and Benny T. The whole song is about how Tricky Mac is on drugs and he's like, you know what? Maybe I call it quits. Stop taking drugs. Like get myself together. And Benny T is like, no, you're being a pussy.
He
You're gonna
shows
keep
up.
taking drugs and you're gonna like it. And that's the whole song.
Because
and Benny
you're a
T is the
legend.
hero in this song.
It's a good message.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
He comes in and
And to the
scoops
kids
him
at
back
home
up.
watching, you too can be like Benny T.
Yeah. That's right. Well, okay, so I mean, we're still not through the juiciest weekend that ever happened.
Look, I'm realizing now after having one story over so long that we could probably just do this for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That when you were saying Miles is like podcast grease, that's kind of what he adds. Is like every week with the yard. Like some weeks I'm like, oh, I could probably keep going. Some weeks I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to wind down a little bit. But like when Miles is here, I feel like I can actually keep going forever.
I have an energy for this that is infinite.
You know what actually
He's
helps
the
too?
greasiest guy I ever met.
We're doing it early. I think
No.
everybody's. I think that actually makes a difference.
He taught me everything I know about podcasting, and that's why I am the grease when he's not around. But
Oh.
I'm not good grease.
I was wondering why
And
both
along
you
the
were
way,
always
you
greasy.
told me everything about being good.
Get there, man.
Wow.
Get there.
Wow. That's the grease you can only
was
get
like-
from Miles.
Anthony,
Isn't he a genius?
no cap though. I look back on Bad Melee and I'm like, I was allowed to run around in the playpen because you created the playpen a lot of the times.
Yeah, you know, you gotta. Some people have to be the dad, and
The
some people
anchor.
get to be.
Some people get to be the mom.
That's you.
And that's her story.
Anyway, that was Miles, DonB, Dobney, Giles from Street Fighter,
That's right.
Michaels.
You can find him here.
Oh,
Archie.
Nice.
Wow,
he
great.
hates
Whoa.
followers on Twitter, so don't even think about it.
Hey,
Just do it.
you could.
I'm,
Oh shit.
I'm
Uh,
happy everybody knows the man who's in every other story.
Also
we
check
tell.
out his parlor. He's pretty active.
Paul, what is Paul?
And also,
It's an alt-right Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't understand the
Jesus.
bit.
Oh, are you on Gab?
and look. If some people might have seen on Twitter this week that I not only ratio but double ratioed Will Neff.
That's good.
Because Will Neff was calling me out saying he could beat me at Foursquare, which literally it was funny. Everyone comes out the woodwork and it does a collective ha 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 when they read this, and everyone's like replying like, "Damn, about to be put on a poster, yada yada." Will's gotta be a little scared. But this sort of beef had some sort of at our Super Bowl party. There was another party there who was defending Will, saying we would totally dice you guys, and we settled that in an ultimate Foursquare event that happened last night, and we'll get into it on the bonus episode on Patreon. See you there.